What's up, everybody? Season 5 of BotB Bill. We're getting started. What's going on? How you been? We've been on break. Bill, how you feeling right
10
now?
out of 10. This is a hell of an episode today. We had our special guest, Jack Mock, from Mock Shop Music Exchange, and Dean Winter and the motherfucking Heat on it.
You can look that up on Spotify. Dean Winter and the motherfucking Heat.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about a lot of dope shit today, though, honestly. It was a lot of, like, country music, rock and roll,
Yeah.
AC/DC,
Rockabilly.
Tesla verse, fucking, you know.
Yeah, just zone him out for the rest of this introduction. This episode has it all. We're telling you. So just keep listening, and the unpopular opinion section was pretty great as well. So that's pretty good.
Unpopular opinion
Don't listen to what he has to say.
Immaculate.
No,
immaculate.
It was immaculate. Anyways,
listen to what I have to say.
Oh my God! All right, bottom of the bill. New season, new episode starts right now.
Starts right now.
This is Bottom of the Bill, where we talk about the modern grind of a musician.
Album cycle.
Hold on, Bill, give me a second, man. Because we don't know what we're talking about.
Spotify playlist.
You keep interrupting me. That's not how we discussed it. Just give me a second, man. We invite established artists
Festival lineups.
Can I just get my stuff out real quick? We invite established artists on to share their strategy to success.
Marketing strategies.
The premier do-it-yourself podcast.
Hashtag DIY.
Ah, screw it. This is Bottom of the Bill.
This is season 5, right?
Yeah.
Do you see how I'm pretty?
That's fun.
Yeah, that's fun.
That is fun.
Have you seen, that's Nicolas Cage under there, by the way.
Oh, Nick Cage. Have you seen the movie where he plays himself?
It is
No.
so fucking
I haven't
funny.
seen it yet. I want to see it.
Bro,
seen it.
that pillow is actually in it, which cracked me up even more.
It is?
Yeah,
That's
I told you that.
I
Yeah.
forgot.
Kind of love that.
Yeah, it is. Are we rolling yet? Okay. I can't hear you, by the way.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
It's gone.
Oh,
Oh, there it
you go.
is.
I hear you.
There's a mute button.
Yeah,
There's
that
a
movie
mute
is
button.
fucking hilarious,
Yeah, I
by
haven't
the
seen
way.
it.
Yeah, really good.
Sorry, I
Who's
love
the
that.
other guy in it? Pedro Pascal, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the guy in Narcos?
He's the guy. He's
Yeah.
the Mandalorian, and he's in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
He's also in Narcos. He
Narcos.
plays Pablo Escobar.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Oh.
No, he plays the agent that takes Escobar down.
Yeah, I played Pablo Escobar.
Oh, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember who played Escobar. I watched that show
me.
way later.
Like the ginger version of Pablo Escobar.
What do you mean?
You could be a ginger version of Pablo Escobar.
What do you mean?
You got
There he is.
Yeah.
Pedro
Yeah,
Pascal.
you're
That's
right.
him. Yeah, he plays the cop. He looks just like him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like looking in the mirror.
That's not Pablo Escobar.
That's not Pablo Escobar.
Phil.
Huh?
Yeah.
No.
Well,
Anyway.
they both do have mustaches.
Yes, Pablo's mustache is it's a nice mustache.
I have face blindness.
I love
and
the-
you know this.
I love the memes, the Pablo memes when it's like when you're at a party and none of your friends are there, and it's just like the different pictures of him like sitting on the swing by
Yeah,
himself.
So
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Or
so
like at the
good.
end of the driveway with his hands behind his back.
Yeah.
I love that. Sad Pablo.
Yeah. Love it.
Oh man.
All right, let's get into it. Season 5 of Bottom of the Bill.
Season 5.
This has been I've been looking forward to this interview for a while now, I will say, because
I found out about it yesterday.
yeah, I'm really bad with communicating. I've been wanting to hit you up for a while, and I just get, you know how it is, like people that aren't like in your immediate
I'm
kind of
scary.
circle.
I'm sorry.
You just forget. You just like forget to hit people up because like you don't see them all the time
I
and
get
shit.
it.
And then I ran into you at the music meetup, and
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you want to come on? You're like, yeah, fuck, let's do it. So now we're here.
We're here.
So
I'm here.
Stoked about it, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. This is
Season
cool.
opener, too.
Season
Season
opener.
It's all gonna go down from here. Sorry, I'm gonna stop.
It's all
doing
gonna
those
go down
terrible
from here.
one-liners.
Yeah.
Actually, it can only go up from here.
I was
Sorry.
gonna say.
I'm not gonna do bad one-liners every time.
No, you can feel free. That's what
probably
the show is
going
all
to.
about. Yeah. So what's been going on, man? How's life been treating you?
Life's crazy. I have a 4-year-old daughter, turns 4 on Saturday, so that takes up a lot of our time.
Yeah.
She's a ball of energy and a blast. Recent things, I almost cut my finger off like a couple nights ago.
Holy shit!
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For those who can't see, he's got like a nice chunk of his ring finger there.
That was like the stuff they put on it, and so it's it was deep. It's a classic situation where you're cleaning out your at-home margarita machine, and you slice your finger on the blade just because you don't listen to what your wife's telling you to do.
That's a Jerry
relatable.
finger though, so you're good to go, right?
I use this finger quite a bit though.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you probably do a lot of finger picking.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
we're good. Yeah.
So luckily, I don't have to play guitar for another week, I think. Yeah.
You probably use like finger picks for the pedal steel, right?
Yeah, the pedal steels, I have picks on my pointer and middle, and then with guitar, I use the ring and middle. I can't think about fingers.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, and then busy doing a lot of gigs,
You're playing with Dean Winter in the Heat predominantly now?
Yeah, that, and then I do like freelance audio. Like
Right.
I honestly do. Yeah, I do that like a ton.
Okay.
I had like 2 weeks ago, I had 7 gigs in 1 week.
No shit.
Yeah, I had like double headers on like multiple nights and stuff. Yeah, crazy, man.
That's hell yeah, man. It's
Yeah.
good to be busy though, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Between that and mock shop, you must be chilling.
Yeah, it's been crazy. My wife says I work way too much.
I don't know anybody's spouse that like wouldn't tell them that.
Yeah,
honestly.
that's
You
true.
I think we all get the same complaints.
Yeah.
By the way, cheers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Billy's decided to be a rebel today
Yeah,
and
he's
drink
drinking
beer.
Beer. It's not even open.
Yeah,
He's just it's
It's a
a prop. Yeah.
Is that empty?
it's a prop. Yeah, no. This is what I'm gonna. Yeah, I'll tell my girlfriend. Yeah, this is a prop beer. It's not a real beer.
Oh boy.
So what's
acting.
been what's been going on with Dean Winter? You guys have a tour coming up?
Like kind of, we're doing this thing where we just are doing like long weekend runs.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do like 4 to 5 day runs, like sporadically. Like it's just hard to book without like somebody booking for you. I find.
hear you, yeah.
So we're like working on that. So we did a couple months back, and they were a blast. We played some cool places, met cool people, just connections kind of thing. And so we're just trying to go like, Carolinas, play a bunch of places around there, drive back, and then go further, play a bunch of places, drive back.
Where y'all hitting the Carolinas?
Like we played Charlotte and Asheville and Bluffton, because there's the roasting room up there that's cool.
Right. Where's that place? You told me about the spot in Charlotte that was pretty dope. What was
There's
it
the
called?
Thirsty Beaver.
Yeah.
Place was incredible.
That's in the Noda district? Or?
It's in Midwood technically, which
Okay.
they're all like right there.
Right.
It's like Riverside, Avondale, Murray Hill.
I get that vibe so much from Charlotte when we're there. When we play like the evening muse.
Yeah, that's what it felt
It's
like.
like definitely like Riverside, but like a little bit more active. I feel like
Yeah, we're like it was like 2 seconds from the Evening Muse.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that place was rad. It's like, I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's like they did a bunch of development in Midwood, and they built all these high-rise like apartments and other things, and the bar was just like nah. And so it's literally like, it looks like the house and Up. Like,
Oh yeah, just
it's
surrounded
a
by
big
condos.
building. Yeah, and that's it.
There it is.
It's
Are you
so
serious?
cool.
Wait, that's the real
Yeah.
venue? That's not something.
And then if you like Google any more about it, like the top hit is going to be Mick Jagger being there. There's the picture of
Wait,
Mick, right?
what is it? What did it say on the caption? Dale Earnhardt Jr. at the
Wait,
Thirsty
why is
Saloon?
Mick Jagger looking?
Why is Dale Jr. there?
Well, he lives in Charlotte.
Well, I assume so, but like that's his stomping ground.
Why is somebody photoshopped Mick Jagger to look like the Grinch though?
Jesus Christ?
Anyway, yeah, like dude, the whole time there was so sick. So like the dudes who own the place, this guy, Brian Wilson, and then his buddy, I don't remember his name.
Thirsty Beaver. All
Yeah,
right.
they own like that. They own the Tipsy Burrow, which is like a cool like Tex-Mex joint, and they do shows. And then they own like a vintage clothing store. And so we went up there, we went to the vintage clothing store, and we're talking to the girl that works there, and we're like, oh, we're playing Thirsty Beaver, and everyone just calls it the Beaver. And she was like, oh, and she started telling the story, and she's like, yeah, I was the one who took Mick there. And she was like, I did hospitality for that tour they were on during COVID, and it was like a big old deal for him to leave. And he like saw her and was like, hey, cowgirl, because she had her boots on. She tells the story, and he's like, take me someplace cool or whatever. And they hop in a van, and like they leave low key and go there, and nobody knew who was there. He had a hat on and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And she like was like getting chewed out by her boss, and then like comes back. And then like Mick gets out of the van. He was like, "Oh, okay, never mind."
Could you how on a scale of 1 to 10, how uncomfortable would you feel as Mick Jagger walking into like a dive like that?
He probably loved it, man.
I'm sure he loved it
Yeah.
to an extent, but at the same time, like, could you imagine? Like, I would feel like obviously like going to a dive just as like musicians and stuff. Like we look for those kind of seedy places.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
It's dope. And like I'm sure you never lose that. But there's also got to be like a part of you where you know that you're worth like tens of millions of dollars,
Yeah.
and you're just like, I don't know if I should be out here right now.
Oh, you
Yeah.
think like something was gonna happen to him?
I don't know. You never know. Especially, I mean, and obviously, his representation's freaking the fuck out.
Who wants to
You
like?
know?
Yeah.
Who wants to murder Mick Jagger?
You
though?
just never know. Who
never
wanted to
know.
murder John Lennon?
Yeah. That's
What do you
true.
mean?
He's dead.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you didn't hear?
Yeah. See, nobody recognized him.
Nobody recognized Mick Jagger.
That's the thing that I hear about, like seeing celebrities like in person, like they look somehow different because you've only seen them in pictures or
That's
in
true.
video.
A lot of makeup and stuff.
Yeah, like meeting people, you're like, oh, you're shorter than I expected, or so
Yeah.
on and so
Plus,
forth.
let's get real. He's not the prettiest face to look at, so it's not like he would like stand
Yeah.
out in a crowd.
He was a stud back in the day.
He's never been a stud.
They've never been a stud.
You don't
No.
think so? I think
No.
he was a good-looking man back in the '60s.
No.
He's kind of like he pulled off the
We're both
androgynous.
just like, no, he's not.
No.
He pulled off the androgyny.
I think you're talking
well.
about David Bowie.
No, David
No.
Bowie crushed. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a reason why they hooked up.
Oh,
do you
mean?
I'm just saying, you know, there was some attraction there.
Oh man, yeah. that's-
He had a he had
Woof is all
Woof?
I have
I
to
mean,
say.
he does. The lips are. He does have very large lips.
Yeah.
Not to talk about Mick Jagger's lips, but I will.
but yeah. Just saying. I don't think he was an ugly guy back in the day.
The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
What
Yeah.
did the Lord take away?
Take away
Yeah,
is the looks. The guy looks like
we can agree to disagree. I think on that.
Yeah.
What do you guys think back there?
Mick Jagger's not that great looking. Everybody knows this.
Would or would not.
He kind of looks like a fish. A little bit.
Yeah, would or would
I'll
not.
say this: the only
I love
reason
that.
why Mick Jagger looks anyway decent is because he's standing next to Keith Richards. So.
Oh, I have another crazy Mick Jagger story. I just remembered.
Yeah.
Sorry, the Keith Richards. His girlfriend is who's like, she is our age, and they have like a 5-year-old together, and her mom is my brother's mother-in-law, like best friend. Sorry, it's
His
weird
mom.
to say. So his girlfriend's mom. So basically, Mick Jagger's mother-in-law
Right.
is my brother's mother-in-law, like best friend. Like they hang out regularly.
Okay,
She's
so
like,
your
been to
brother's
Mick's,
wife's mom
has been to
best
like
friend.
Mick's house and all this other stuff. It's
That's
kind of crazy.
Wild.
Yeah, and I met her at my brother's wedding and stuff like that. I don't know why. I was just like, I thought it was crazy. I was like, you Mick Jagger.
That is pretty dope.
Yeah, we call that kissing cousins in Kentucky.
It's
that
a
kind
little-
of relation.
Little less separation.
So basically,
in Kentucky,
I
though.
know Mick Jagger is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yes, right. He's calling you to go go on tour with
Yeah,
them next
perfect.
year.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, bro. You could do. Are you playing guitar in the Dean Winter stuff?
I play guitar and pedal steel.
Okay,
Yeah, circle
on
back.
the-
It was
on the-
D-Real big time.
on the record though.
Yeah, I pretty much play all the steel.
Okay.
And then most of the guitar, Jeremy, who played, he plays bass. He played guitar on a few tunes on like some different parts. And then Dean did a solo on one of the songs. And then Dean played all the acoustic. But
Okay.
Predominantly most of the electric and steel is me, except for a few songs. Jeremy took the reins on those.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say because like if what happens on the record is any indication of your ability to play like country and blues style guitar, you could probably crush it. The Stones. Gig.
Yeah.
Are you influenced by Keith Richards at all?
No, I'm not a Rolling Stones fan almost at all. I picked the Beatles.
I'm
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
That's my favorite band of all
Except
time.
for like I like Sympathy, and I like Jumpin' Jack Flash. I like the early stuff. Same with the Beatles. I like British Invasion.
I love
music.
that. I love that era.
Like
yeah.
growing up, British Invasion was a big part
Yeah.
of like music for me.
Same.
I will say Keith Richards' guitar solo on Sympathy for the Devil is like the worst guitar solo of all time.
I love
For
it.
sure.
Yeah, right?
sure.
Thank you.
I
love
prefer the Motorhead cover, honestly.
I haven't heard that.
Man,
I
Motorhead
don't
has
know.
a cover album called Undercover, where they cover a bunch of stuff. They do like Heroes by David Bowie. They do, shoot, I can't remember now. They do a Ramones tune, and they do Sympathy for the Devil and stuff.
Hell
It's
yeah.
Their Heroes cover is rad.
Really? I would love to hear that. I can't like
Lemmy
imagine an
singing
interpretation.
Heroes is sick.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, that's
I think
dope.
it's funny that David Bowie came out with that song like just a little bit after he was like pro-Nazi.
Wait, he was pro-Nazi.
You don't know that story?
I take it with a grain of salt coming from you. So
I promise you,
boy.
yeah, you can look it up. Like he just said a lot of weird shit in like the late or like early 80s.
I mean, he's
and
a
then,
weird guy.
Yeah, and then he like kind of got out of the limelight and then started coming out with his like 80s. Like I can't remember what was his name that he was going by. The
Oh, I don't know.
or as formerly known as
no,
David
no,
Bowie.
no, no, no.
Are you
Like,
talking
like he has like like he looked like Aladdin Zane and
Are you
Ziggy
talking like
Stardust.
Are you talking like
He believed in fat, and then yeah, there you go. So
wow. Well, I could see.
Well,
okay.
That name of that song should be
I feel
"Don't
like
Meet Your Heroes."
I feel like that's a stretch of him being quoted that like Adolf was the first rock star because he's probably just meaning like people
Charisma.
idolized him
Yeah.
with his charisma.
That's the problem is that
It's a slippery slope talking about Hitler.
100%. That's kind of the problem when people misinterpret what people are trying to say. It's the same thing when John Lennon said
Bigger
that
than
they're bigger than Jesus,
yeah.
you know, and then like people started burning Beatles records in the middle of the
People
street.
don't
It's
do
like,
that anymore.
As they should.
We should start burning records. No,
I feel like I was gonna say that was like the 60s and 70s version of canceling, right? It was like
Yeah, we'll
you're-
burn your
Yeah.
records.
Yeah.
But they did that. I think the last person that ever had that done was the Dixie Chicks. Remember
Oh,
when they were talking
George
shit about
Bush.
the
George Bush.
George Bush and everything?
now they're just the chicks.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
'cause
that's
you can't
right.
use
Because they
Dixie,
can't use
yep.
Dixie anymore.
And also Lady Antebellum, which is Lady A now. You can't do Antebellum anymore.
Yeah.
That is so ridiculous. Antebellum, all that means, it just means this after the Civil War. Like that's all it means.
Lady A is what
Lady-
what
I
what
thought
I
it
do.
just because it's easier to say.
Nope, it was definitely
Because
a
I
political
struggle
thing.
every time I read it.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Whatever.
I
is
don't
that
read good.
the thing is that they were already super successful by the time they changed the name. So
Yeah,
obviously that wasn't like a problem for them. It was just they got hit with like some kind of
The Dixie Chicks is just the chicks now.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
didn't know that? Well, they made a comeback because they kind of like fell off, and then they made a comeback of like just the chicks.
You can't just be called the chicks.
I mean,
That's
They
an
are.
that's an awful name.
who's gonna fight
Yeah.
them on that though. They got like all the money in the world to fight whatever kind of copyright trademark thing that they're gonna be coming up against. They're good to go.
yeah, I think they're fine.
So nobody came up with a band called the Chicks before. The
I'm
Dixie
sure that
Chicks
they did, but
And
it
they just
doesn't
bought
matter.
them out. They just
Yeah.
bought them out.
Are we back to the
What are you reading about
Bowie
it?
thing? So he did believe in fascism. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
I don't think it was that out of context. I think he.
No.
Yeah,
Well, that. Okay, yeah, that's
cool.
Then
Do it.
that's fine, but that one sentence alone didn't prove anything.
No, do a deep dive on
Yeah,
Bowie in
that's
the
one where he
80s.
had to die for sure. But
Yeah.
hey, whatever.
Yeah, he's
He's dead now, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The song "Golden Years" has a whole new meaning.
Yeah, a lot of
boy.
stuff.
Oh boy.
But yeah, then he came back with right after that. He came back with Heroes and everything like that. And everybody's like, "It's fine. You're right.
Fine.
It's okay. We forgive you."
It was honestly, it was probably he was probably like taking a page out of John Lennon's book.
He wasn't taking a page out of anybody's book. He was high as shit on cocaine.
I'm just saying, bro.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
But don't you guys feel like artists do things just to get attention a lot of the time? Like they'll say outlandish things because
Yeah, that's why they are on stage. They enjoy being watched and performing. It's all performance.
Exactly.
Everything's performance based. Like, when do they stop being the performer and they start being the person that they are or whatever?
I think it's that like Messiah.
it's
complex.
like when does the bit stop? That's kind of
Exactly.
like a thing that I struggle with as well. And my wife says that to me all the time. She's like, when are you gonna stop doing bits? And when does it bits? And the bit turns into reality. I look like this now.
yeah, this was irony, and now I'm just this.
This is who I am.
Yeah. Well, my brother's the same way, man. My younger brother, he he did the douchey like frat guy impression trying to like do a bit
Yeah.
for years, and now he just is that.
Yeah.
I love the kid to death.
Yeah.
He's
Shout out
not
to
really a kid
Dylan.
anymore, yeah, but
hot fire.
yeah.
That's all he spits.
He's hilarious, but he is that persona now.
the
you
bit
know?
becomes reality.
Yeah,
for sure.
totally.
I love that.
But yeah, it's the Messiah complex. It's just they're in this little bubble, and then everybody is telling them how great they are all the time, so they
Yeah.
feel like they need to. Kanye West could just stop talking. Like he could, and everybody would just be like happy with it. But he feels like he has to because everybody's pushing him to do so.
Yeah.
No one's telling him no, or that you're being a Dumbo.
That's
Yeah.
literally what it is. It's
Yeah.
like you have no people around.
True.
I
That's
feel
why,
like they should
that's why I'm grounded because everyone tells me no all the time.
because you have
Exactly.
consistently
Exactly.
bad ideas.
No,
yeah.
exactly. And so so I'm just like just down to earth and everything.
Yeah, down there.
Oh,
Right?
man.
Yeah, they know.
Oh boy. Another Chicks thing. The guy who played
Chicks.
keys on some of the keys on the record. He played with the Dixie Chicks when they were first getting started.
No shit.
Yeah, he's he like lived in Nashville in that time. He played with like Phil Vassar, who's like another dude around in that time too.
Yep.
But he lives here, and like everything I've done, we like I need keys or whatever. We just like hit him up, and he just like knocks it out at his house.
That's awesome.
What is the reasoning? I mean, I love Jacksonville, but what is the reasoning for somebody like that leaving Nashville and coming to a place like this?
I think he kind of got out of music. I mean, he still plays and does a lot of stuff, but I don't know actually.
Yeah.
Maybe he had ties here originally. I'm not 100% sure. I've never asked him.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that move here because it's like it's quiet
It's quiet.
and it's like affordable.
Used to
you know,
be.
relatively used to be. Yeah. Like it depends on who you are, and it's like you can get like, you can spread out. You can get like a big spot, but then still like be close to like town or whatever. And there's a beach here. I mean, outside looking in, like Jacksonville is a pretty like appealing place, for lack of a better word, if you just want to like live in a city that's like not huge or whatever.
Why does any Yankee move to Florida?
Yeah, it's
I'd
warm.
love to know that question.
I'm
And
a
also,
Yankee that was born
get
in
out.
Florida. I don't know.
Yeah,
Get
that's
out.
true.
All of
That's
South,
true.
all of everywhere, like from Palm Beach County down, is all Yankees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you go more north the further south you go.
Exactly.
South
like-
New York.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's classic.
Or North
South
Cuba is what we call it in Miami. But
Yeah, that
Mine too.
Miami is definitely North Cuba.
yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know.
They
I
got
mean,
great pastries.
that's for sure. I do love Jacksonville. I think it's actually got a pretty. I think the music community here is great. I think the one thing that we kind of lack is just like the industry side of it,
For sure.
Which is not like, for some people, it's not a bad thing. I'm somebody that likes that kind of a grind, so I do like the industry aspect. But I think that's kind of also growing here to the point where there's access to those opportunities, but it's also not so encompassing that like you're dealing with the superficialness of like an LA or something. You know what I mean?
I think Jacksonville lacks is a big part is venues.
yeah, that's what
to
we were
play
talking
at.
about before we took a break. It's just like we're missing one size venue.
We
I
need an
feel like.
800, 1200 cap.
I mean, that's
room.
coming. The
Yeah,
one in the
over
rail
in
yards or whatever.
Rail Yard District.
But
yeah.
even then, man, like I like Jacksonville because you can be big fish, small pond kind of thing. And
Yeah.
usually when I do shows, people are like, where should we play? And I was like, I have more success like doing pop-up shows in different spaces and like creating a vibe in a unique spot or whatever. Like I think that's cool. But like having a lot of cool, consistent venues, like I mean, we have great ones nonetheless, but like ones that have like good PA and they're easy to come to and people come out to. Like, you know, it's a hard stretch to compare, but like you go to like Nashville and there's Broadway and it's tourists or whatever like that. But like there's just like music. And it's like we don't have that. We have venues that are big and that do have music all the time, but we don't have anything that's like smaller. Like I think where it still feels like a lot of people. Like a good 150 cap room, 200 room, maybe 100. 100 cap room, give or take, that has consistent music, like could be a vibe though.
Blue Jay,
Yeah, like Blue
Archetype,
Jay.
Jackrabbits.
There's those
I
for
think-
sure.
Yeah.
I think
More of those, but like that are
Or alternative kind of venues.
yeah, and like screw it, like have like a cool cover band play like every night or random nights, and then do original music on the weekends or so on and so forth. Like do whatever.
Operative word there being cool cover band. 'Cause
Yeah.
I love that concept, and I was just talking about this recently, and I think like just to kind of dissect that real quick, the cool cover band thing. Like if you're a cover band doing like cool B-sides that are like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus like doing like the Sublime, like
Yeah, no,
that
I'm
kinda shit.
talking about like have a good set. Like
Yeah.
Don't play what everybody else is playing. Don't go out there and don't play Santeria or whatever. Like
Right.
or have a niche cover. I feel like I'm talking about myself a little bit, but like have a niche kind of thing, or like, or we're gonna do like, or some night you do like a tribute night or whatever. Like, oh, we're gonna do a John Lennon night. We're gonna have 3 different people come and play John Lennon music. Or whatever.
Right.
Like,
That's
people
awesome.
love that
Yeah.
stuff.
So and to tag on this, I love what's happening right now in Murray Hill, because this is kind of what's happening in Murray Hill. You have like Stout Snug,
Yeah.
you have the Walrus, you have Buckner's Beer Hall, you have the Silver Cow,
Yeah.
and then you guys are doing pop-up shows at Mock Shop,
we
right?
used to do them all the time.
Yeah.
I used to I had like big bands in the shop back in the day. I say they're big in a genre, but like the dude from Page of the Lion, he's got a band called Unwed Sailor. They're pretty well known in their scene, and like he's played the shop, and this dude Chris Staples, who like I super love his music, he's played the shop, and stuff like that. Yeah, and then like insurance is hard to cover. That's what happened. We stopped
Right.
doing them because of like our insurance was like, hey, you can't be having all this, and so we stopped. But switch insurance providers. I'm gonna start doing them again. Cause like I love doing them in the shop. Like we just had another one. We had Jacobs a while
Right.
back, and that was the first one we done in like way before COVID.
He did. It was a single release or album release?
No, it was just a show. It's so funny. So many people were saying that, and then we turned into a bit. And we're like, "Oh man, Jacob, can't believe you're releasing the record tonight." But no, it was this dude Andy Zip, which if you guys don't know Andy's awesome songwriter in town. He just moved to Jacksonville a couple of years ago.
I think at the last music meetup that Jacob was hosting, I think he was there.
He's a super interesting guy, like laser focused conversationalist, but like just an excellent songwriter, like storytelling through songwriting. Man, he played this song about his dad. His dad passed away. I think it's within the year, and I was just like in the store, just like crying. I was like, "This is so heavy, dude!" Like,
yeah. Jacob was telling me he was a really prolific writer.
yeah, he's been around for a while, and he was in some like he had some bigger stuff a few years ago. In his whatever, I forget what it was. He told me about it. It was some band he was in. And then Jessica Pounds played too. So it was just a show they set up essentially. But it just so happened, that was new music for Jacob to play essentially.
Gotcha.
But it is funny how that came about. And we were like, dude, can't believe record release show.
It also because it also kind of lined up with like a release that he was doing as well. Because I remember when he was doing it, and then like literally the next day or something, right around that time, he had a single come out on Spotify.
Yeah,
which is dope, by the way.
Yeah, it's great.
Like if you're into that kind of like that more modern like pop country kind of thing.
Yeah,
that song was kind of like in that vein a little bit.
It's got like it's like an indie Americana kind of thing, I would say, and it's like with cool sounds. I mean, Jacob's got a studio and he knows how to play to the studio, and he can create a lot of sounds. Have you seen his little TikToks where he like talk? They're hilarious. Yeah, they're great. It's good comedy.
Yeah,
yeah.
He's a really. I mean, his interview that we did on here.
It was like 2 hours long or something like that.
Yeah, it's 2.5 hours actually. Yeah,
man, we're gonna beat it. We're gonna go 3.
Oh, bro, if you want to get the longest, you have to go about 4. I think we had Lazuli Vane in here last year. And we did 3.5 hours.
All right, I have nothing else to do tonight. Sorry, guys. Sick. All right, I know what I'm doing. So when I was born in Jacksonville.
Oh, neat.
But yeah, bro, Jacob is an insanely talented guy, and just also another guy who's a great conversationalist.
Yeah, he's sweetie.
Yeah, really, man. I love really just talk. I really want to work with him in some capacity.
Did you meet him when he had his beard and long hair?
No.
Okay, because he's totally feels like a different person since he shaved.
Really?
I don't know if I've told him this. I can't wait for him to watch this. But yeah, I like always knew who he was because when he was younger and stuff, and then he started popping around. He had his big beard, his long hair, and his personality, and like he always seemed very quiet and standoffish. And then he started working with me at the church and stuff, doing music. And then he like shaved his beard and cut his hair. And then I feel like he just became a different person.
Yeah.
But also I just got to know him better. It's really what it was.
Right.
We became pretty good friends now, but it was just like one of those things. Like it feels like a different person.
That does happen though, right? When people like,
yeah.
One of my friends, I remember when I was in high school, shout out to my friend Daniel Moritis. He
Danny.
like when I was in 9th grade or 10th grade, he was in 9th grade, and then like summer happened, and we were both like these huge potheads or whatever. And then summer happened, and he had like, long hair or whatever, and then he wore like baggy clothes. And then my first day of 11th grade and his 10th grade, he comes back, short hair, like fucking polo shirt.
Yeah.
Probably he wasn't smoking weed anymore. And then from that day on, still to this day, I called him Sober Dan.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Sober Dan. And still, the dude, by the way, he now owns like 3 head shops out in like the Inverness area.
That's a trip.
And then also owns an ice cream shop, and like he's crushing life
really
right
funny.
now. And I still call him Sober Dan to this day.
Love
Yeah.
that.
It's my fucking boy right there. Shout out.
That's tight. I super love that.
Yeah. I do want to get into some mock shop stuff, but
Sure.
but before we get into that, bottom of the billboard.
Hell yeah. It's been a while.
It's been a while, yeah.
What have you been doing during the break?
Oh, I've just been building an empire. It doesn't stop, bro.
Oh.
Hashtag.
One pebble at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
It's like an ongoing joke on the show. I always say that I'm building an empire, and
there
that's
you
like my
go.
whole thing. So
It's a very ongoing joke.
we're gonna make a. I'm
And
also
everybody-
being serious about it, but I'm also joking.
Yeah,
when I
everybody
say-
laughs the whole time.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I believe it. It's all that matters.
Anyways,
so
Bottom of the billboard.
Yep. For those who don't know, Bottom of the Billboard is a segment that we do every week, and we pick a song to be reviewed. If you know anything about Billy and I's dynamic, we don't agree on anything musically.
But recently we have.
It's very strange.
What's that about?
You guys
That-
are growing.
Yeah.
It is. It's also just being in a band together
Peeling back
for 5
layers.
years. I think
Yeah.
we're on the road together all the time. We have no choice but just to absorb.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So eventually, it just happens. So this week you picked.
Before I say what it is, I think I got the name wrong. I know it's definitely Frank Moody's new album just dropped on Friday, but it's either Raining in LA or LA Rain.
Raining in LA.
It's Raining in LA,
Yeah.
right? That's because I got it written down here.
Yeah.
But anyways, Mr. Frank and Mr. Moody, if you're listening, hell of a fucking album. Your last album before it, Dreaming in Color, amazing as well. But this song of this new album is such hot fire. It's one of the best like
it's a
dance
cool song.
tracks like that I've heard in years. It sounds like Phoenix, but like less like about themselves. I don't know what even to describe it. Like
Yeah.
it's fancy, but it's not fancy, and then it sounds like they're not trying too hard. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's like a perfectly baked cake. Is this song? The bass line on this song just fucking just sends it for me.
Yeah.
It's amazing. The hook is incredible. I know without a doubt that at the end of the day, it's just a 4 on the floor dance track.
Totally.
But it's more than that. You know
Yeah,
what
it's
I mean?
got cool layers. It reminded me. It's funny you said Phoenix because it does remind me very much of that 2011 to 2014 like indie music that was popular.
Yeah.
100%.
So really, the song that I got Capital Cities more, not Safe and Sound, but that record. There's this. I can't remember the name of the song now. I love that record. If you haven't listened to that record, there's sick stuff on that. There's this tune called Farrah Fawcett Hair with Andre 3000.
Wait. Who's the artist?
Capital Cities.
I've never heard of that.
They had that song Safe and Sound.
Oh, we're gonna get sued. But yeah, I know that one. We're
crap.
gonna get sued.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That's okay. That
You
was
should've-
copyright. That was Sesame Street.
That was Happy Birthday.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Happy Birthday.
Sorry.
But
Anyways, that record's that Safe and Sound record is really sick. It reminds me of that.
I know who you're talking about for
But
sure.
that's when I instantly heard that. I was like, this sounds like Capital Cities because that's like two guys as well. But it sounds like that, but with like guitars and stuff too.
My favorite part about Frank Moody is all the jam band kids fucking love him too.
Yeah.
And I hate jam bands.
All to each their own.
What? No.
Oh wait, are we not at the hot? We're not at the unpopular opinions part yet.
Whatever. But the whole point I was trying to
love
make is it's one of the best songs I've heard, and I
It's a good
I
tune.
just heard it on Friday when it came out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just came out.
Yeah. Billy's really on top of he's really got his finger on the pulse.
Yeah, it seems like it. I only know Frank
Yeah.
Moody stuff because like Carol will be like, play Frank Moody or whatever for like house music at different times. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
It's good music for the house.
It is. I think I prefer the last album that he did before more than this one, and I will say that I do like this song, but again, just being like my flavor of music, like it's a little repetitive for me. You know, I love
And
like,
granted, but that's what dance music is.
I
Yeah.
understand that. That's my biggest problem with it. Is that
Yeah,
I
'cause
don't.
you don't
I don't
dance.
dance.
You don't dance.
Yeah, exactly.
don't
so
dance?
I'm not a dancer.
He's the entire town in Footloose.
Wow. Oh man, I love that.
Thank you.
That was a good burn.
Thank you.
Clip that, boys.
All right.
So I will say that I do like this song. I think the bass line definitely got me the most, just because
Yeah.
it's like funky as shit. It's kind of syncopated.
I like the guitar, like little jingly part. It's got like the cool vibrato on it. It sounds like a chorus, but it sounds more like a vibrato. But
Yeah, no,
it's really cool.
for sure. The production on it overall, I
Yeah.
thought was really good. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
The synthesize, like the synth tones were like really cool.
Yeah.
Wasn't anything groundbreaking as far as lyrics go. And vocally, kind of the same. But I mean,
I like their band name a lot. Actually, I think it's a cool band name because it sounds like it's just one person.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I heard their name and I was like, "Who's this Frank Moody?" Dude?
I thought it was one guy too, but yeah.
I like that. I think that's like a
two
fun little
guys.
thing.
the bass player's a chick, Rosetta. What's her?
Yeah, but they write all the music.
I know. I'm just saying that
Yeah.
she plays those parts. So it's
Or at
dope.
least that's what I think, yeah.
Yeah, I was specifically trying to find who played on tune. Because
Yeah.
I like to know that.
Me
'cause I'm
too.
super interested in that, and I couldn't really figure it out.
Rosetta. That she just goes by Rosetta.
But it's like, is she on the record? That's the only thing I don't know.
She's awesome.
that's true. Yeah, I didn't.
That's
look
what
up
I'm
if she was
wondering.
on
Is like,
that
who's
show.
on
Sure
that
she
record?
is.
Because the one thing I've learned through playing like a lot of country music is like there's only so many people that play on every record.
That's true. Yeah, and surprisingly,
I love that stuff.
Before we get it,
Yeah, we can go back.
Yeah, because I do
Finish
want to hit
some
that
of this.
real quick.
So, Tony,
Yeah.
does it make the playlist?
I think it makes a playlist.
What about
What do
you?
It's
think,
a
Jack?
bop. Yeah, it's a bop
You're
for
into
sure.
it?
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
I'll put it on my pre-show 8 playlist on Spotify.
There we go.
Subscribe.
That's 3
You can
thumbs
also
up.
subscribe to our Spotify playlist called Bottom of the Billboard. Check that out. And then we also have a playlist where we feature all of our guests.
That's really tight. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we do
I'm
all that shit.
super uneducated on
It's
this.
okay. No, I mean, normally I do some background before I go on a podcast, but that's cool.
Oh man! All right, you got me there.
So I've only been on 2 podcasts, to be fair. So
This is my first. Actually, I recorded a podcast with a dude, and then his like hard drive got wiped, and he lost it all, and he never posted it.
Don't
Knock on wood.
say those words out loud. Knock on
that
wood.
that is
right now.
That's literally happened to us before.
Oh,
like
really?
twice, actually.
Sorry.
That's-
Twice. Well, anyway.
It's why we
you
call-
wanna tell that story?
It's, so Gene's nickname is Crash Bandicoot, by the way.
Yeah,
because-
that's tight.
So anyways,
Crash.
The
yeah.
computer just happened to be in front of me. I don't know what you want.
I get it. It's all
He's
good,
too
man.
lanky.
Yeah. So yes, song definitely makes it. We're all in agreement with that.
For sure.
So there we go. Fuck yeah, check out the playlist.
Break a leg at Swanee at Halloween, and also get back to me on Instagram because I want to talk to you.
Yeah. But speaking of the country guys,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Victor Wooten was such a big player in the Nashville country scene.
What? Really?
That's the first
Oh,
I've
yeah,
heard that
big time.
too.
I didn't know that,
That
either.
dude's got fucking
Didn't know that,
credits
man.
on all kinds of shit.
Love
Just
that.
Where's
like
he from?
One
first off?
five. It's just the
Bro,
whole time.
if you listen deeper though,
Nashville.
sometimes there's some sick lines. Again, learning this through playing like a lot of these tunes, like the bass, like in like Chattahoochee, the bass is doubling all that stuff, and like the intro and all that stuff. It's like it's doing all that with it,
Right.
which is like it's some. I mean, that's not complex, but it's just like you wouldn't expect that.
Right. You're typically expecting like kind of like a blues.
You know he's coming
kinda-
here, by the way.
Victor Wooten.
He's coming to Ponte Vedra Concert Hall.
Oh, that's
I
true.
think next month they're.
Yeah, with Steve Bailey and
Yeah.
Oh, they're doing Basic Streams. Drico Watson.
I don't know if Dorico's on the tour, but yeah,
It just said
Basic
Victor
Dreams.
Wooten on the amphitheater website or whatever.
I saw him with Steve Bailey and Dorico Watson.
You met him, didn't you?
I met him at Sam Ash when I worked there down in Miami. He was doing a clinic, but I saw him play with Dorico Watson and Steve Bailey with Basic Streams at the UM, theater or whatever, and that
That's
was
sick.
insane.
He plays country.
Yeah,
I never would have guessed
Bro,
that.
country
Sorry.
music. Everybody plays country. I love talking about country. We talk about country music all night.
All right.
You guys sound like Dean Winter and the Heat kind of sounds like a Ryan Adams kind of thing.
So, whoa, man, careful with the Ryan Adams. I'm just kidding.
I love Ryan
Oh,
Adams.
me too, man. He just booked a tour solo. Bunch of shows are sold out. He's 11 months sober. I hope the guy comes back.
Fuck yeah. Oh, was he like?
He's in a dark place for a long time. He's
Okay.
dude. Back in the day, like he was big time addict.
Oh, okay.
Some like my favorite Ryan Adams record is "Love Is Hell," and that was like prime when he was just out of his mind. But the record is incredible.
Sometimes the best music comes out of
It's
that shit.
incredible. I have the box set, like 4-disc of it. Has like songs that haven't been like that weren't really released on the record and stuff too. It's tight. He's wild. But anyways, yeah. So that's like kind of how the Heat started. Was had this band Banquet, which was more rock and rolly, straight ahead kind of rock and roll, but very Ryan Adams influenced. And then we started shifting. I was playing some steel on some tunes. And then we just kind of leaned and progressed into this, like what we're doing now, essentially. So that was always kind of the back of that Americana kind of sound. And now we're leaning more straight ahead country. I want to go it's naturally happening, but we're leaning more straight ahead country every day. And we have some other tunes that are more Americana too. Like it's kind of fun molding, but yeah, there's definitely that for sure.
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
I love it,
some
man.
stuff.
Yeah, and the newest album,
Wheel of Bliss.
Wheel-
It's a silly name.
No,
though.
it's
It's
a
a great name though. It's where we recorded most of it. We booked this big. The place was wild. It was outside of Asheville. It was like a Buddhist like retreat center thing.
Yeah.
So you can. It's on Airbnb or somewhere, but like it was way outside of Asheville on the mountains. Like it was on like 100 acres. This huge house cabin sleeps like 15 or 20 people, and there's like a shrine room with like a huge Buddha statue, all these noise bowls, and like all this. It was like real crazy, like, but it was just such a vibe. And we tracked drums in that room.
Hell yeah.
I should have sent you a picture of it. It's really cool. We track drums in that room and stuff, and because we do drums and bass live, like every time we track.
Yeah, same with
and
us, yeah.
and stuff. But that was the listing was like Wheel of Bliss or whatever. And so we were just like, let's call it that.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
I love it. So did you guys just rent an Airbnb and set up your own studio?
Yeah,
basically?
Jacob came with us. So Jacob engineered pretty much all of it. Actually, he did all of it.
Hell yeah.
So we went up there with the lofty goal to finish like 11 or 12 songs in 4 days. Yeah, and so that didn't happen.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Well, like on the way up, the trailer broke down, and then we got there and we drove through the snow to get there. The place was like on the mountain. It was this crazy gravel road to get up to it. I was like terrified, like pulling it. Yeah, that's the place.
Whoa.
It's dude, honestly, like get some friends and just go stay there for a weekend. It's really cool.
Hell, that's outside of Asheville.
Yeah, it's way up there.
Fuck yeah.
It was the there's a yurt on the property too. Like we went in the
Hell yeah,
yurt.
yurts.
What's a yurt?
It's like a big tent.
It's like a big tent.
Oh,
It's
right.
like a round
Right.
thing.
Okay. Right. Right.
But yeah, so we brought everything. Like I have so many like microphones and stuff. I collect microphones and junk, and so we did everything there and borrowed some stuff, set it all up. But anyways, we had a lot of setbacks, and we tracked drums and bass and acoustic guitars for all of those songs in steel and like a couple and some other stuff. So we didn't get it all done.
How did you guys go into that situation? Like not just anxiety ridden, just like
Oh, it was like Ty got sick like the first day and like threw up.
fucking god.
Yeah,
bro.
like he threw up and like because Ty was in the hot seat. He did like I think he did like 5 or 6 hours straight one day. And he was wearing like coveralls and a beanie, and we had like a fire going. We're like, Ty, like take that off. You're getting too hot. You're getting overheated. Like, and then he got sick and threw up.
Oh my
But it also
God.
was because he was eating like powdered donuts and drinking Dr Pepper like it was nobody's
Oh
business.
my
Sorry,
God.
Ty, but boy loves his DP.
He's it.
Don't. We'll finish the sentence and don't just point at me.
No, that's good.
Yeah, we'll leave it right there.
We all know.
We all know. Yeah. No, Bill's a big Diet Mountain Dew guy.
Oh, Diet Mountain
and
Dew.
M&M's. He's on the road.
That's
he just,
very blue collar of you.
Thank
He's
you.
from backwoods Kentucky,
Yeah,
like middle of nowhere.
You see, like the day laborers going to the gas station, just slamming Mountain Dew,
Bro.
like it's 100 degrees
it
outside.
gives me anxiety. When I'm at a gas station,
How
I
are
see,
you not dead?
Yeah, I see dudes like getting hot dogs and loading that shit up, and then getting like a fucking.
You're the one
Coke.
that actually eats a gas station food. You'll
Yeah,
eat
but
that.
I always
I'll
have
eat a gas
water
station
though.
food.
I'm always drinking water.
Water doesn't cancel out fucking gas station pizza. Tough
No,
guy.
you're right.
Am I
However,
a tough guy.
you're right. But
Fucking throwing back 2 cyclones and a bottle of water. Yeah, that checks out. No
3
heart
5-hour
disease.
energies, you get 15 hours.
Oh yeah,
all
and the
saved
5 hour
up.
energy.
All
drink.
saved up, man.
yeah, you know what? You're right. But at least I stay hydrated. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'll drink Diet
Those
Mountain Dew
fucking.
every now and then.
I see dudes like loading up. They got chips. They got like 2 Monster Energies, and they got like hot dogs loaded up. I'm just like, bro, how are you alive right now?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's insane to me.
I mean, I
The
will
other
put
day
a.
before a gig, my coworker for breakfast had a Red Bull, a Coke, and 2 Cosmic Brownies.
I
And
love
was
that,
like, dude. Breakfast of champions.
Guys
right
ready
there.
to
That's what I call it. That's what I call it. Breakfast of Champions.
First off, I haven't heard about Cosmic Brownies since I was
Bro.
like 12 years old. Those are amazing.
Those are the ones with the
Keep 'em in
sprinkles.
business.
Those are they're like the darkest chocolatiest thing you ever did see with like the like round big sprinkles on them.
Yeah, it's production line fudge, basically.
Yeah.
It's so good.
They're right next to the zebra cakes.
Yep. Yeah, Jack knows where they're at.
I got a whole mess of zebra cakes in my cupboard over here.
I love
boy.
zebra cakes.
Zebra
bro.
cakes
Oh
are
my
the best,
God.
100%.
All right,
Those are nice.
we got. So
Lots
so
to go.
you're he played guitar or what do you play?
Ty plays drums.
Drums. Okay.
Yeah.
So he gets sick.
Yeah.
What's going through your guys' head at that point? You must be freaking the fuck
They were
out.
like, all right, well, I guess we're gonna record acoustic guitars now.
And how many tracks did he get done?
I don't remember. He got a good chunk done for sure,
Okay.
like maybe 5 or 6 at that point. But yeah, he was just a machine, like killing it. I mean, Ty's great, and like he's super into like trying different stuff. He was like he brought so much stuff, like so many different snares and everything else.
Hell yeah.
He has a lot of drums. Yeah, I don't. Man, I'm trying to think now. That was like over a year ago, actually.
Yeah.
So this record took us like all over a year or so to make
Yeah.
because Dragon, just busy stuff like that.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, it's why it took us like over a year to get ours out and
Yeah,
record it and get
that's
ours
what
out too.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, we just did other things.
Yeah.
We just did other stuff. We were like, all right, well, I guess we'll do guitars and whatever and figure it out.
So how much did you guys get done that weekend?
We got drums for I think 11 or 12 songs, and bass for all of them, and acoustic guitar for all of them.
Oh, okay, so you got a
And
good chunk
then
done.
steel for like 2, and electric guitar for 2. But we didn't release like 3 or 4 of the songs that we tracked up there. So like we had then because on the record, because things changed and we wanted to do some other tunes that we got more excited on. Like my 2 favorite songs on the record, we recorded like a week before we mixed it. We set a deadline to get it mixed, and then we were like weren't feeling these other songs, and then so we were feeling these 2 that we were playing a lot, and like we literally just like did them live, and then punched like guitar solos and a couple things.
It's so weird though, like that you spend all that time on those other songs, and then you're just like, yeah, just do these 2 songs, and then you spend like 2 weeks, and they're your favorite.
Yeah,
It's so weird, how
bro.
works.
That happened,
sometimes.
dude. And that's the thing is like I listen to a lot of people talk about how they make records, watch documentaries and all that stuff, and it's like, bro, it's like they'll start with like 50 songs.
Yeah.
And then take it down to this much, and then it's like, well, those songs never see the light of day or whatever. Like they could be fully done and they're never out. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. It was one of those things. Well, those songs will probably come out eventually.
Yeah, of course. Why not? Yeah.
But yeah, it's just we were just like, let's do these ones.
Yeah, that's wild how that happens. So
But those are my favorite at least. Everybody has their few favorites on the record, but those are my favorites. For
and
sure.
you guys were able to keep like a level head and just like get focused, even though you had like a trailer fucking breakdown, and then like you were the snow situation. You had someone get sick, and there's a limited amount of time up there, and you're able to just like get in the zone and still focus and do the thing.
Yeah, ish.
Yeah, ish. Yeah.
The trailer was the bigger bummer.
Yeah.
Because we were gonna take I have a trailer. And then I was like, maybe we don't, because I don't know how roadworthy it is. And so I was like, I'll just rent one from U-Haul. And then that ended up being terrible.
That sucks, bro.
Yeah, so that was really what it was.
Damn.
But didn't pay for it. So
Shout out to U-Haul. They're not a sponsor of the podcast.
They should be. As much money as we gave them.
Yeah, for real, bro.
yeah, so yeah, we kind of did. It was just like trying to just get crap done, kind of thing like that.
Yeah, I feel you.
And again, I wasn't super in the hot seat that time, so it kind of worked out. I'm really bad at recording. I'm just not good at it. I'm more of a like lightning in a bottle type of person.
Okay.
So like it's like I don't know what it is, but it's like I'll play it perfectly, and then we go to record, and it's just like this thing.
Yeah.
A lot of
This thing.
pressure.
Yeah,
Well, as you hear, it's that microscope, man. There's things that
it's a
happen.
microscope, dude.
Yeah, it's that thing when you play live, or like you play like even just jamming with people, and then it's just that fleeing moment that like people can kind of like, or even you can kind of like kind of place what you thought happened there, right? Like you can like replace the actual thing with what you thought happened that was like amazing, right? But then you go back and like in a recording where it exists in perpetuity, and it's just like, oh man, like
I suck.
yeah, the timing there was off, or like like just I don't know like why it sounds like I just started playing this instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like big perfectionist on like tone things and stuff, so it's just like it's not quite exactly what I want it to be like. And I'm like, is it me? Oh, it's definitely me.
Yeah, that's the shit that's getting into your head. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always wonder, like, now that we have like computers that you can see like the sound waves and everything, and make sure that they line up to a metronome and to the beat. Like, if you were to take old tracks and then somehow, I guess you could still get the stems, and then see if that lined up to the metronome and everything like that. I bet they would be way off. You know what I
You
mean?
can hear it in a lot of
What are
old
we doing
tunes.
at the end of the day?
That's the thing, man. As I think about it, it's like, I mean, you listen, like, I think what Van Halen record is it? Like, the kick mic on one of the kick drums isn't even plugged in.
Oh,
Really?
no shit.
Yeah, they do double 57s on each kick. I can't remember what record it is, but the kick, one of the kick drums, if I'm remembering this correctly, the mic isn't even on in the kick drum, and they left it. Like, dude, there's so many.
There's just no kick.
Can we
There's
pull
so
that one
many-
up? See if we can find that.
There's so many crazy. It was, he had double kick drums, Alex. But there's so many crazy things about that. Like, and that's why I love recent about how records are made. And I watch, like I said, a lot of YouTube. I live on YouTube. The dude who mixed Refugee.
Tom Petty too.
Yeah. Shelly, can never remember his last name. I watched a video of him going through the tracks, and he was like, yeah, they forgot to turn on the Leslie for this song.
Oh my god.
And so like in the choruses, and Shelly's like, so I just recreated the Leslie with tape and stuff. So if you listen to that song closely and you listen to the organ, it has this really weird
How would they
fluttery
even
tone.
do that?
And it's not a real Leslie, it's fake. And it's like now I can't unhear it, but it's so cool because nobody else has a sound like that.
Right.
But yeah, he plays it solo, and I was just like, that sounds ridiculous.
Oh, I gotta hear that.
Yeah.
Now. Next time I hear that,
I'll
song,
send
I'm
you
gonna
the
pay
video.
attention
It's a
to.
cool video. It's like
Yeah.
an hour long, and I just was like, this is sick.
I guess what I was
Yeah.
trying to say though is that maybe like technology is somewhat of a curse when it comes to that.
Totally.
Because you are looking
Dude,
at it.
our
under a
ears are
microscope.
tuned to music being like so perfect. Why do you think everybody wants their drums to sound like machine guns now? Like
Yeah.
sampled. It's people are so used to like perfect. Now like I find myself I mix so many direct guitars like with amp modelers or pedals. I'm becoming more tuned to hearing a direct guitar more than like a mic'd cab.
Yeah.
Like it's just I sometimes prefer it. It sounds weird.
I prefer it now too, to be honest with you, because like especially with some of the technology now, you can really get like some of the solid state stuff that you can do, or even the amp
I play a
modeling
solid
stuff.
state amp.
What do you play?
The Fender Tone Master Twin.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
I just bought a quilter that I'm just waiting to get a
Quilters are
fucking
cool,
cab for it because those
Yeah.
things sound amazing. But like you can the thing with going direct, especially with the quality that there is now and some of the amp modeling or like it's just like it's crazy because the mic, I feel like when it's sometimes it kind of loses that umph. And like you can like obviously you listen to some older records and like you can feel that beef for sure. But when I've recorded with like mics versus direct in, I always prefer the direct in sound now.
Yeah.
You get like the full spectrum, I feel like.
Yeah, it's definitely, and it's easier to like manipulate.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you can change things after the fact and a little bit easier. Yeah.
That's just, I don't know, it's just music's crazy like that. I
Yeah,
guess.
totally. But that kind of leads me to the mock shop stuff because I've been. Or did you find it, Chris? No.
No,
Oh, okay.
it's just maybe it's just I think I saw it in
Urban
another. No, it was another YouTube rabbit hole. There's the dudes who created Van Halen 1 and 2 at Sunset Sounds, and it's like an interview thing I saw on YouTube with them, and they're going over the liner notes, like the tracking notes from the studio logs and stuff, and they talk about it in that. I remember now.
Oh, okay.
And Mikey at the shop is like a Van Halen, like wealth of Van Halen knowledge.
Nice.
and
Hell
stuff.
yeah.
So that's also I remember him telling me that as well. From that.
I love Van Halen.
Yeah, Van Halen's
I
great.
was a little upset to find out recently that all of my favorite songs came out in the 70s and not the 80s though.
Yeah, we have this whole debate on the show, and it's about like
Van Halen versus Van Hagar.
no. That's a good argument also, but the worst decade of music from the 50s to now, what would you get rid of?
90s.
90s?
Yeah.
See, I would say the 80s can go
I
away.
love the 80s.
I know a lot of people love the 80s.
But then they bring things to your attention that you're like, it's like I was like, yeah, Van Halen all day. Like,
Yeah.
Round with the Devil. What year do you think that came out? I'm like, 80,
70,
It's like 70, 77.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So
the
he
first
br-
record, I'm like, no.
He brought Van
That's the
Halen.
80s. Van
that's
Halen's the
Van
80s,
Halen.
I thought, but it's not.
Yeah.
Not even close.
He brought Van Halen, or like he started bringing up like all these different artists, and I was like, I guarantee you, all your favorite songs by them were written in the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had their biggest hit though with Van Hagar, with Hagar though. Technically.
Which
Yeah,
one?
John.
Oh
No, that was Homeboy.
Oh, I don't remember. Like, I think their most like chart successful song was with Hagar. I think it's like Right Now or one of those songs. Love Walks In. I think that's it. I think that was their most charted song.
I just go by Spotify plays at this
That,
point.
yeah,
I don't
Spotify
know,
rules it all.
That is the metric. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which that's definitely their number one song on Spotify is Jump.
yeah,
yeah,
for
of
sure.
course,
Which
yeah.
is 84.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
which
you can
is
tell because they have
Synthesizers. Yep.
yeah.
But I do want to. I really want to talk about Mock Shop.
Sure.
Because
Yeah, me
this,
too.
This place is.
Yeah.
I think like a gem. What is
What
this?
do we got? Am I correct? I want to know if I'm right or not. I'm not, probably.
80. That is Jump. Looks like an 84. Anyways, I don't even know what we're looking at. To be honest with you, I can't. Oh my
Maybe
God.
what
Jump was the
album
better
sold the
genre.
most is what we're looking at.
84, it looks like. 84.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Which came out in 83, actually. Did you know that? No, I'm just kidding.
What are we doing?
I mean, I would have been like, all right, tell me anything. I don't care. I'll believe it.
Can we talk about your store now?
Okay. So.
That's fine. I want to talk more about country music too, but let's talk about the store as well.
Okay.
But we don't. I don't. You know, you're driving the questions. I don't want to.
We run this
Let me
podcast,
see the
man.
list.
Yeah. Here's
Just kidding.
So.
Oh boy, let's talk about the shop.
So yeah, I'm just.
Let's talk about the shop.
I'm curious about like where the like obviously you have a passion for gear or like something because first off, owning a music store is a very difficult endeavor, I would imagine, and then the margins on things are pretty low most of the time.
I have a passion for pain and suffering.
Well, but also you have to like love the gear, right? Because
Yeah.
especially with your specific thing is that you guys deal with predominantly like boutique companies and then some vintage stuff as well, right?
Yeah, some vintage for sure. It's tough to get now.
Yeah. So what was the inspiration for opening this shop up with this angle?
Yeah. I guess like I've always done. Yeah, I've been into gear for a long time, like buying and selling gear like for years. Like it's just fun, off and on. The mock shop thing, like I used to wire up pedal boards for people back in the day, and that's just kind of how that name came about and stuff. Somebody was like, mock shopping up or whatever, and I was like, perfect, cool.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, like I was at the time I was like just traveling. Anytime I travel, I try to go to guitar stores, whichever one. And so I was seeing all these cool guitar shops that were like sick. Like a big proponent was like East Side Music in Nashville, which Brandon I know fairly well, and he's from Jacksonville originally actually. But he has that shop up there, and they're a big influence. And other smaller shops, I was like, it's cool. Like we need a good local shop. In Jacksonville back in the day, used to have tons of music stores. American Music, Music City, Music Depot, Don's, Pawn. We had a lot of cool, like, really sick guitar shops, and they all kind of died. And then we got the big box stuff. So I just wanted a store that, like, was just different, and I would have, like, liked it, seeing stuff, like, you see on the internet, stuff you don't usually see in person. Like, I try to have that stuff, that's the big aspect of it, with pedals specifically, and then having, like, good repairs and stuff like that. And there's your needs that you need, like strings, picks, capos, cables, stuff like that, that everybody needs and stuff like that. So, yeah, I just wanted something that was different. I wanted stuff you weren't going to see in Guitar Center or Sam Ash and things like that.
You guys certainly got that.
Yeah.
The pedal collection you guys have is just insane.
Yeah, it's becoming harder and harder. I will say, like, companies are getting bigger and they're getting into those stores. And it's not like I want those companies to thrive and grow because that's their passion and that's their business. Like, you don't want your business to stay at this level. You want to get it up. So the way to get it up is to go into those places, but it does make it harder for the independents at time. But those companies are really good about supporting the independents like me, you know.
So how do you decide like who you want to work with? I can imagine there's a lot of like up and coming like builders or you know whatever that are trying to get into any store that they can.
Yeah. When I opened the shop, that was like the big proponent. That was the big thing of how I got everything, like dealerships and stuff like that. I opened this when I was opening the shop. I was just like cold calling these people or emailing, just cold emails. Just be like, and a few things I had relationships with. I had a relationship a little bit with Reverend. That was really actually the only one. And I was just hitting people up and stuff. I had a little bit of relationship with Old Blood Noise Endeavors through some friends. And I was just hitting them up, cold calling them, be like, hey, I'm opening up this shop in Jacksonville. There's nobody else doing it, so you might as well work with me. And yeah, I had just a list of companies that I thought were cool. Wanted to see Earthquaker, Walrus Audio, Old Blood Noise Endeavors, Strymon. Trying to think of who else I like opened with. Greer.
Yeah, that's where I actually got the Lightspeed from you guys.
Great pedal.
Yeah.
I have some more in the mail. Well, they're being built now. What else did I open with? Chase Bliss stuff. JHS. I said Earthquaker, yeah. And then the Reverend guitars as well. And then like I played Good Cell amps for a long time. Kind of had like a deal with him, and so like I had him build some amps for me. The Supro stuff was cool.
I was say yeah, you had the Super stuff.
Yeah, the
too,
Super.
yeah.
I still have a few. Gonna order some more soon, and then it's just hard to get stuff right now.
Yeah,
and then a lot of my own stuff that I had. So it's kind of how it all came about. But yeah, that's all stuff you wouldn't see in the GCs or the Sam Ashes or whatever, or anyone else in town like at all.
Totally.
You know.
Yeah, man, that was a big draw. Yeah. I'm such a bad customer because I'm a musician, just like don't have money to spend on gear all the time.
I get it.
But like but for a long time I was like really into like I was a big gearhead when I was like working in the music stores and stuff. So like just seeing the collection that you guys had was super impressive.
Yeah, it's fun, and I just got to go with the small companies. And those small companies, I usually talk to like the dude who makes the pedal, like like Old Blood Brady, it's the guy who started it, and like I talked to him on the phone, or like
That's what we wanted to know. What was the difference between talking to like somebody a Fender versus somebody a Greer?
Dude, it's just like I'm just talking to the dude, man, and they're just like they're stoked. Like it's sometimes, or it's like the other dude. The company is like 4 people,
right?
And like, well, and it's like 4 friends, and so like there's the one guy who started it, has all the ideas, the proponent, and he's got a buddy who does the marketing and sales, and then he's got 2 buddies that are building the stuff off of his designs.
Right.
So I'm usually talking to the guy who owns the company, or the guy who is the head marketing of sales or whatever, and they're super cool. Or like their main sales rep is pretty small, and we just talk on the phone, like shoot the shit, and it's like everybody's cool. They're really nice. It's a little bit less because a lot of the companies are getting bigger. Like I don't talk to Josh on the phone. I've talked to him a handful of times, but I talked to Zach, who's like his number 2. And he started the company with Josh. Like he's been there since the beginning.
Right.
And
so like how is it like as far as customer service and like just overall doing business with guys like that versus like the bigger production line? Do you work with any of the bigger guys?
No, never have. I don't know. Like that's the thing. Yeah, I have no idea what it's like talking to Fender.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't work with like KMC or anybody like that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I have a rep. I have some wholesale accounts with some reps, and they're nice. It's just different. It's a little less. It's not that it's an unpersonal. It's just a less, like passion or connection to the gear. It's not like they're selling themselves. They're just selling a product. Like the other guys are like selling the thing. Like that's their brainchild. That's the thing they created, like from the ground up. Is fully their idea. Nobody else has this other idea, and they're like, and I'm getting it, And they're just cool. Like I said, I'll just hit them up and be like, hey, I want to get X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, all right, sure. And then what you been up to? Like all the guys know I play in a band. Like all the stuff we do at the shop. They just know all that stuff. It's like really cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and then like there are some other dudes that like this guy Sayer, he represents a few different companies because that's his business, is representing these small boutique builders. He takes the load of them having to have a sales team, and I deal with him. And so like I'll go to NAMM, hang out with him, go to parties. Like I'll literally drink beer with Nick Greer or whatever, or like hang out. It's just cool. Like it's just different. They're just all really chill. As for lack of a better word, I guess.
Totally. do you go out to like NAMM and do all that stuff?
I've been to a few. I went to them before COVID, and then I just haven't been out. So I've done the Winter NAMM in Anaheim, which was just like a whirlwind. I went to the Reverend party, and that was really fun. And Mike Watt was playing guitar, or Mike Watt, bass player. He played in the Minutemen, a couple other things. He's just kind of like a punk legend.
Gotcha.
So like he was playing. That was really cool. And they did it at this place called the Rock Bar, which is owned by the dude in Lit, I think. I think that's the band. Hey, the copyright.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
YouTube's definitely flagging.
That's one of the
that
only
Thanks,
songs I
Bill.
can play on guitar. Actually,
Well, like that was cool. Like I'm just rubbing elbows with like Ken Haas and Zach, who's the main rep, who's been there for a long time. And then I did the Nashville one, and I went to the 5 spot, is where I think like Old Blood, Greer, and I can't remember who else. A couple other companies were all together there and just hanging out and stuff like that, and just like it's just really fun. It's just like they're like it's like networking, but not really. I hate networking. I'm so bad at it.
Yeah.
I'm just like
I don't like anybody who likes doing that.
Yeah.
Finance bros.
Yeah.
I like how Billy kind of like looks at me while he says that.
No. I was just looking at you. I don't think you like doing it either.
I don't like doing it. I'm
You
not
won't shy away from it, though.
Yeah, I'm not.
You
But
take the opportunity.
Yeah, 'cause I'm not bad at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I know how to like I can turn on the personability thing
Yeah.
when I want to, but it's work though. It's
Yeah.
like I'm a very introverted person.
Totally.
So it's like just naturally, but yeah. So I feel that, but
Yeah.
it's definitely like you have to do it kind of thing. So it's like whatever, you know.
What's like your biggest seller at your store?
Biggest seller is the Julia from Walrus Audio, chorus pedal.
That's a core. Okay.
Yeah, that's
so-
probably the number one thing I've sold the most of.
And what is your return policy? Because I got a Walrus Audio pedal that I
Oh
got.
yeah, you got one too, don't you? I
Oh,
forgot.
man.
I was joking. I bought that shit like literally like 3 years ago.
Oh yeah. No, I'll buy it off of you
You
though.
buy it off me? Word. Fuck yeah, bro. I owe Westbrook some money right now.
Yeah.
So.
Bring it and I'll buy it. I love buying gear, man. Oh,
Fuck yeah.
so the whole other side of the store, besides like all the new stuff, and man, there was one other thing I was going to talk about. The NAMM stuff. Oh, the other one in Nashville, I saw Greg Koch play for the Reverend Party, and that was sick. And Pete Anderson. Pete Anderson played guitar for Dwight Yoakam.
Oh hell yeah.
So like he is awesome, but like but Greg Koch was absolutely insane, super cool, very nice. But just watching him play guitar, he's coming to Jacksonville actually. On the
Actually,
16th.
I really want him on the pod. So if
He's coming to town on the 16th.
he's a big influence of mine. So
That's
let's-
awesome.
let's
Are you,
line it
you're
up.
gonna. I'm assuming you're gonna go see him.
I definitely am.
Yeah.
Talk Marshall Trio or
I think it is. I have a gig that night, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it. We play later, so hopefully I can. But yeah, I saw him live, and it was nuts, dude. He plugged straight into his amp, his signature amp. It's got the harmonic trim on it. It sounded like he's playing a Univibe. It was nuts. The guy's
That's
insane,
amazing.
bro.
yeah, got that gristle.
Yeah, he's nuts. That guitar is sick. I have one of those in the shop right now too. It's like,
Really?
Yeah, it's like his signature with the Fishman Fluence pickups that he's got.
Hell yeah.
It's basically like a white guard, black guard telly. You push the button, it's like pretty much a boost. It's so sick.
Hell yeah.
But then the whole other thing that the shop that I do is I go to guitar shows.
Right.
And if you've never been to a guitar show, it's really cool. So it's like going to like a trade show or a gun show where
Like a
old
boat,
guys-
like a boat show.
Yeah, but it's like old guys just selling a bunch of guitars.
yeah.
So it'll be at like a fairground.
Oh, like a flea market.
Yeah, ish. But it's like different companies. So that's where like to like tell you the secrets. If you want to know where like you're like, how does Chicago Music Exchange have that vintage guitar? They buy it at a guitar
Yeah, buy
show.
them at guitar shows, yeah.
So there's all the big dudes, dude. It's so weird. I do one in. I go to Orlando. I go to Asheville. I've done an Atlanta one. I've done a Nashville one. The big ones are like Guitarlington in Texas, and there's a big one in Philly that I'm trying to get to. It's just
Did you say Guitarlington?
that's what they call
We
it.
need to open,
That's
we need to
so
open up
great.
a guitar,
Yeah.
a Guitarlington in Arlington and
Yeah.
Jacksonville.
Oh my god, yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, the guitar-
Maybe not in Arlington. Yeah. Maybe literally anywhere else.
bro. Arlington
Arlington
is,
fucks, bro.
Yeah, that's where I grew up, my guy.
Wow, bro. Wow, Bill.
Wow.
Way
I
to
fucking
fuck
lived
off,
over
bro.
there
I'm
too.
offended. I'm just
He's
kidding.
offended, bro.
Be offended. I grew up there too.
Yeah, no, man, I low key joke about just moving to Arlington and just getting away from everything.
No offense, Arlington. We love you. but
Not
that
selling
place
out.
is a
You're
dump.
cashing in Arlington.
Yeah,
That's
it's
right.
Cash grab.
Yeah.
I have an idea because I play piano. I would very much like somebody to make it in like an industry. What am I trying to say? An indestructible sustain pedal.
Oh yeah, good luck.
Just make that.
Yeah, good luck.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great idea.
It would be a great idea that should exist.
but you
But
only
you can't
but,
make money off of it, though.
yeah, but
oh man, things
It's
are,
not
you know-
about money,
You know,
though.
things are built specifically to break now.
I
So
understand.
I'm curious. Do you deal with that? Do you see that from companies where you're like, yo, you purposely made this shit cheap?
I mean, there's definitely cutting costs. Like, there's specific cost cutting where, like, a big thing is like, you know, why most companies are doing like, they do the jacks on the top of the pedal and the power jack on the top. That's because they can mount it to the board instead of soldering and plugs on the side or separate. It's cheaper to make.
Yeah, totally. It's just so fucking
A
inconvenient.
little bit for sure.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that's like a cost cut. But you know, everything's built pretty rough. Things go out. I mean, your pedals, you're stomping on them. Like their dirt's gonna get them. They're gonna break.
Totally.
You know, it's just one of them things. Like,
Henry Ford made the Model A truck or car, whatever you want to say it, and his tagline on it was "the only car you'll ever have to buy your entire life." And then
Totally.
everybody was like, "Oh, don't do that. That's a bad idea."
Yeah.
And then like 20 years later, they were like, "Oh no, we were gonna have everybody buy a new car every year. That's our new model."
It's the same thing with light bulbs. Yeah, that guy that had like, there's still
Oh, yeah,
light
they
bulbs
say
been going for
that.
like 100 years or some
Yeah.
shit. It's still going.
but they talk about like, you know, like it used to be back in the day, like you can repair your refrigerator and your dishwasher and all those things. Now it's like that thing breaks, get a new one.
Yeah,
Like nobody's gonna fix it. You're not gonna get it fixed.
100%.
Yeah, Steve Jobs wouldn't let you open up the computer.
That man's a fucking genius. Don't you
At
disrespect.
what?
I'm just joking. I don't fucking know anything. Just hopping on the-
Yeah.
on
You
the-
haven't read his biography?
No.
My buddy read it. That's the only response.
That's
I'm
the
not
only.
I'm not a big reader.
I will say
Yeah.
that's the only bio picture where it's actually good.
Bio picture.
Yeah.
Why do you say the whole thing?
biopic?
Biopic.
Because I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
So I'll say biographical picture.
Okay.
I've
Yeah.
never seen. I haven't seen that one.
Watch the Steve Jobs one because it's like
Who
it's.
plays him?
It's a little tongue in cheeky though, isn't it?
Oh my god, no, it's not. It's actually really good. It's the dude from.
Yeah, I know who. I forget.
Yeah, thank you, Michael Fassbender.
Okay.
I don't know who that is.
He played
You
played
would
the
if you saw
British
him.
dude in Inglourious Bastards.
I still don't know who it
The
is.
3 guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Still don't know.
Nah.
It's okay.
He was also Magneto
Speaking
in
of
the
Nazis.
New X-Men. He wasn't a
I haven't
Nazi,
seen
I
that.
know. I was.
but he
not-
wasn't Nazi.
He was doing a Nazi circle back.
Yeah, I was recalling
The
a bit.
David Bowie thing.
David-
Anyways, indestructible sustain pedal.
Yeah,
you,
that
Jack.
sounds like a great idea.
But again,
I'll talk
understand
to somebody.
because I don't know.
I was gonna say
bought.
Jack did start pulling strings.
I must have bought in the past 15 years, like at least like I'm gonna say close to 40.
I believe
sustain
it.
pedals.
They definitely break all the time.
It's ridiculous, and I understand. I'm playing standing up. I understand that I'm a gigging musician, so I
Yeah.
use it a lot more than somebody normally would. But at
Yeah.
the same fucking time, it's just a transistor just touching each other.
Yeah.
What if like your light switch broke every 60 fucking days?
Well, what if you stomped on it with your foot
Yeah.
10 times?
What
a
about
night?
that?
Yeah.
Or
Start stomping
literally-
on your
I
lights.
don't know.
Yeah.
You see the battle shit that's over in that's stationed here that's decommissioned in
wait.
Jacksonville next to the Main Street Bridge.
No, I haven't seen that.
They built those fucking things to last forever.
Well, I mean, there's lives at stake, right? So
Come on, America. this is why we need fearless leader back. I'm telling you.
Okay.
my
Good
gosh.
unpopular opinion.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
You got Gene going over there.
Oh boy.
I'm fucking around. I hate that guy.
I can't. by the way, we can't hear you back there. Is that mic is not turned on?
It's not as turned on. It's not in your
Just nowhere
face.
Oh.
even close to my mouth.
Never mind. Sorry, I don't know how
We have
sound
to
works.
share this, and I'm lazy.
Oh, okay. Well, you sound great, by the way.
Sounds very nice.
Some good content, bud.
Yeah.
Um,
Love content.
So before we get on to our last couple of segments here, let's talk some more about country music.
Oh yeah. I love country music.
So, so you grew up in Jacksonville, right? So,
Sure
like,
did. My whole life.
was that was that something that you were kind of raised on? It was just
No.
Okay. So,
Yeah, like my music, like growing up, most of my musical influence is from my dad. He doesn't play music, but like he has a big record collection. He's seen every band that you would want to see. Like it's insane. He saw Zeppelin in like 75. He saw The Who in the 70s. He saw the Stray Cats randomly, which the Stray Cats were like my favorite band. I still really like them. Big Brian Setzer fan.
he's
but,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, I have the opportunity to meet him a handful of times.
He also
Very nice.
crushed it in La Bamba as Eddie
Yeah.
Cochran.
And Country Bears. Let's not forget that.
I didn't see
I'm just-
that. I was gonna say, I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, this is a Disney movie. He's in that movie. It's
Oh,
really
okay.
funny.
That's true. He did some movie, I forgot.
yeah. He's got a leopard print guitar. It's very cool.
I literally only got into Brian Setzer because I love Eddie Cochran.
Yeah,
And
sick. That's awesome. You love Eddie Cochran.
I love Eddie Cochran.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love Richie Valens. I
Yeah.
love Buddy Holly. I love that.
Yeah.
And I remember watching the documentary when I was a kid on VH1 Behind the Scenes.
Yeah.
And it was like about Richie
Behind the
Valens.
music.
Behind the music.
Behind
My
the
bad.
music.
Sorry, I was a little fucking fried.
Yeah.
That's all right.
But I watched that documentary when I was like in 4th grade. And then
Yeah.
I became obsessed with Richie Valens and Buddy Holly. And I saw La Bamba, and then I was like, my dad told me who Brian Setzer was. And then
Yeah.
he was playing Eddie Cochran. And I discovered Eddie Cochran. And I was like, oh, now I like Brian Setzer because I love Eddie Cochran.
Yeah. Well,
Summertime
Eddie Cochran was
Blues.
like his big influence.
Yep.
You know what's crazy about Eddie? I mean, one, he died when he was 21.
Yep.
Which is crazy. So young. So young.
I know, man. All those guys. Richie Valens was 17.
Yeah. Insane, dude.
When he died?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was that young. Good lord.
Waylon Jennings was supposed to be on that plane too.
Really?
Mhm.
No
Yep.
shit.
Yeah, because also another country music tidbit, like the Big Bopper, he wrote White Lightning, that big George Jones
Oh,
song.
I didn't know that.
Mhm, yeah.
Wow.
And but shoot, oh yeah, Eddie Cochran. But he was doing the Les Paul thing. He was doing the multi-tracking and all that stuff. Like, I mean, If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure Eddie Cochran played a lot of the instruments on his early recordings himself too.
Really?
Nobody was really doing that. Like he was kind of like a one-man show ish.
No
But he was
shit.
doing all that stuff with Les Paul, messing with tape machines and doing recording and all that stuff too.
No shit.
But like being a kid, literally a kid.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah, it's insane to think about like how young people were like back in the day, and you see pictures of them, they look so much older. But like it's just like, what was I doing when I was 21?
Bro, but those guys were fucking going through the ringer though too. The industry at that time was so different. Like they were like being successful was like, yeah, you would see financial success, but it was also like the lifestyle. Not that it's not hard today, but the technology back then. Like you're traveling in like these grimy ass buses and
Not
like
even buses. They would do like tours in cars
and shit. Yeah, man.
and they
it's
would
like-
just have their guitar and show up and play with whatever was there.
Exactly.
Sounds tight.
Yeah. It is a simpler time, man. I did some of that, like some of those. I used to play in blues bands back in South Florida, so I did some of like the Chitlin circuit stuff.
Okay.
And I play like the Bradfordville Blues Club in Tallahassee, which is like BB King and
Oh, okay,
all those
cool.
guys stopped out like on their way up. But like you imagine those places like back in the day,
Probably wild.
and you're just like, I'm talking like backwoods Panhandle Florida shit. These guys are coming through here, like just you're just like, whoa,
Sounds
man.
sick, man.
It was. I mean, some of those spots were dope as fuck, and it was cool because I'm like I grew up with like blues and like early rock and roll and stuff. So
Yeah.
like playing those clubs was just like for me a cool thing.
Yeah.
But just to envision that time and like traveling under those circumstances, it's wild, man.
Yeah, that sounds wild. Yeah, I love all the early rock and roll stuff. That's kind of what I grew up on. Elvis, Beatles, then like The Who and like all that stuff.
Hell yeah.
Then it expanded. Like I wanted to play guitar because of it's hard to think about now. AC/DC and 10 Years After. 10 Years After was like one of my dad's favorite bands. So like my first guitar was like the Dot, like a 335 and all that stuff. So, but then I got heavy into rockabilly, and that was like the big part of it. And that's where the country stuff was the big thing. Like
Right.
Hank Williams and
He's my favorite.
Hell yeah.
Without a doubt.
yeah, Hank is incredible. It's again very young when he died. It's just like
Sad songs for men with broken hearts.
yeah, and I
Listen
love
to that album when I was driving home from our A1A show. I was like, I don't feel good. Put on some fucking Hank.
yeah, it's good
It feels
stuff.
more sad.
It's so good stuff. He's so good, and like I mean, I like all the Hanks except for Junior.
Yeah,
Everyone,
nobody doesn't like him.
any country music fan will tell you the same shit. I feel like
yeah, I mean, like
I'm a big Hank 3 guy. Also,
me too. I've seen Hank 3 so many times. Wish he would do
Outlaw
music
country.
again. I saw his son recently at Archetype. He goes
Hank 3.
by 4.
Oh, he goes by Hank 4.
He goes by 4.
fucking
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, he's but yeah, he played at Archetype. His music's different for sure.
What is it?
It's
Dubstep.
like
It's dubstep.
No, it's still like country, but it's like a little more like it's like a little more swampy, I guess.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
AJ Gray meets country.
Nothing's like upbeat. It's like a little more like mellow or
Okay.
it's just different. It's hard to describe.
Maybe like folky kind of.
It's definitely Volky. He was a train kid, so like that kind of explains part of it. 'Cause
Okay.
that's what he said at
A
least.
train kid like drops with Jupiter.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the dude followed Train around on tour like
Yeah.
a fucking jackass.
Yeah.
Train
Nobody
kid.
likes train.
No,
Train
like,
kid.
you- that's not
Everybody
that
likes
topic.
Train.
We're staying on
Nobody
the country
doesn't
thing
not
for a
like
second.
Train,
Don't get
you
me
know
started
what I
on
mean?
fucking pop bands and no one likes. It makes no goddamn sense. Anyways.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, I've always liked all that kind of stuff and classic country, and then within the last few years, I just started deep diving more and more into like all this other stuff like 90s and 80s and Waylon. Within the last few years, I mean, I've always listened to like that stuff off and on.
You like John Michael Montgomery?
Yeah, we play what's the Michael Montgomery song? We play Dust on the Bottle. We play that song.
He's from where I'm from,
Oh, that's funny.
and he had a
Wait, no, is Dust on the Bottle? That's not John Montgomery. That's David. Oh man, no. Oh my god,
I don't know
blanking
any
now.
of his songs, but he's from he's from
Ask if he likes him. He's like,
Yeah.
I also don't know any of his music.
no,
but-
I don't.
Yeah.
But he's from Nicholasville, Kentucky, and he had I remember when I was growing up, he had his own restaurant.
Oh boy, that's
It was
hilarious.
pretty weird, but it used to be a go-kart track, and then he turned it into a restaurant
Yeah.
called John
yeah.
Michael Montgomery.
Sounds like a classy city you grew up in.
That sounds like a nice place.
Yeah,
Yeah, it sounds like a
Yeah.
real nice place.
yeah.
Real
But-
nice.
I just love it, man. The guitar playing is fun. Like Telecaster guitar, it's like you can't get enough of it. Like
Bro,
those
let's
classic
talk about
dudes.
fucking Danny Gatton.
Danny Gatton's a man.
I fucking like that kind of chicken picking, Midwestern swing kind of shit.
Yeah, Danny
like,
Gatton's wild.
Oh my god, and that's what I had a telly for a long time because that like those guys sold me on it, man.
Yeah.
It was that whole fucking.
I'm a big
genre.
Brent Mason guy.
Love him, man.
Yeah,
So
he's
good.
gnarly. My guitar is fully Brent Mason out. I got a Glazier Bender on it. I literally was in Nashville and I went to Glazier's shop. I kind of met a dude that works there and I hit him up. I was like, hey, I'm gonna be in Nashville. Like, could I drop my guitar off and get a Bender put on before my gig? And he was like, yeah, sure, no problem.
No shit.
So like I roll in there and Joe Glazier's there. I was like, this is Joe Glazier, holy crap. And he was like, check this out. And he hands me the Brent Mason prototype guitar that like Brent tested. And then I played a Glazier Telly, which if you never played a Glazier Telly, nobody has besides like celebrities, but because they don't exist. But it was insane. It was so sick. But yeah, he just like showed me, he was like, oh yeah, I'm doing a neck reset for Vince. I was like Vince Gill? And he's like, yeah. I was like, okay. Cool. Like only
bro.
working on the sickest stuff, dude. Guy was so cool though. But yeah, he slapped a Bender on my guitar. I played it that night. It was incredible.
Doesn't take any kind of routing or anything.
No, he's like, yeah, the Ricky Skaggs Glazier is my favorite one. It's like purple.
So we have to
that one's sick too.
That's pretty.
So Billy, for the Bender stuff, it's like
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what is that?
so that they take like
It's like a wow, wow, wow.
yeah, it's like
Like a whammy bar?
no, it's like usually like one or two strings, or you can kind of modify it how you
Yeah.
want, but you press like it's kind of like
There's that's the bending arm.
yeah.
It's kind of like what
It bends
on
bends the
a-
B string up a whole step essentially.
So it's just like a pedal steel, but
It's
on
exactly what the
on a-
influence is from
Yeah.
a pedal
Yeah.
steel essentially. Like, and Joe was like a steel player back in the day, and that's his tech. His tech is different. His is like not like a Parsons Bender where they route out the whole thing, which is like
Okay.
the original Bender like Marty Stewart has,
Right,
who's
right.
also like the best in that one. So that's a Parsons Bender that routes out more. So
Whoa,
his
it's
is
like inside the guitar.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
in the guitar. Joe's is a different technology, and it's so
Neat.
smooth. But having him work on the guitar just added like mojo to it, and so it's like it was cool. Like he was like stoked on it, and I just have like a crappy Mexican Telecaster, but I've modded it like heavily, and he's like, "This thing sounds pretty good." It's like, "Thanks, Joe."
The thing about Mexi Fenders is that you can mod them and make them
Yeah.
sound and play. I mean, the early 2000s.
I've
like
had
Mexi
that guitar
Fenders,
since 2008.
bro.
Yeah,
I mean, like you can make those things if as long as if you change out like the pickups and like all the
That's
the
what I did.
electronics,
Yeah.
then that thing's as good as an American.
I literally just like, what is Brent Mason's pickups, and I
Yeah.
just bought them and put them in the guitar.
what were they?
It's the Seymour Duncan.
Yeah.
So it's in the bridge. It's the vintage stack, and then the neck is a vintage stack. The only thing I have different, he has the mini humbucker. I have the vintage stack set.
Okay.
But then the secret sauce is the middle pickup, is the hot stack. It's a rail pickup from. Mine is like I bought a vintage one. I found one from like the 80s. You can't find them
Oh, no
with
shit.
I wanted the red cover again because I like. That thing about me, man, is like I become obsessive over the thing that I'm into. So
Yeah.
I want to know every detail. So I was
Right.
like, what every minute detail about Brent that he was doing. And so yeah, he had the vintage stack with the red. So I tracked down the red one.
Is there any
as
difference
well.
in like the resistance and all that? And all that
It's
stuff?
just a really high output
Right,
essentially, and then
right.
you only wire in the top coil of it because it's a stacked coil.
Okay.
And you just use the top coil because you already have the vintage stack that's like a hot pickup as well, and so then you blend in. The middle pickup is on a blend knob, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's not. That's how you get that tone. It's not like a straight up 5-way like a Strat.
right.
You blending in the middle, so like it's just to like smooth it out, and that's kind of how they got that tone in the 80s and late 80s, early 90s.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
dope. Billy's
Yeah.
bored as fuck.
Yeah,
He knows
sorry,
nothing
we're talking about guitars.
guitars.
You play keys.
It's just I just don't know
Yeah.
anything you're talking
Well,
about.
he thinks that
Sorry.
Derek Trucks and Stevie Ray Vaughan sound exactly the same.
Yeah.
So he thinks all guitars
Did
are
you
the
know
same.
that Stevie Ray Vaughan played? I just learned this.
I never
that he
said that.
played on.
by the way, just letting everyone know.
He played on the David Bowie Let's Do
Yeah,
This
he
record.
did.
I did know
Yeah.
Dude,
that.
I
did
just
know that.
found
I'm pretty
that
sure I
out.
told
had
you about
no
that.
idea.
No, I told you about that.
No, you didn't. My mom told me about that back in the
I
day.
had
There's
no
Your
way.
mom told me that
clue.
back in the day.
Oh boy.
Hey.
Yes, I love it.
No, you did tell me that. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I was like, Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no clue. And I think it's before like Stevie Ray Vaughan was really
Anybody.
Anybody, yeah.
Yeah, it's like early 80s, late
Yeah.
70s, early 80s.
Crazy. Now
Yeah.
it all makes sense because the guitar solos and that stuff is sick.
It's sick, but it also like it doesn't like make any sense either.
I love Let's Dance though. Like
Yeah,
that,
it's great, but like,
80s Bowie's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're not gonna have any casualties, guys. I'm just saying the 80s can go.
The 80s are, oh, man, I love the 80s so much.
There's
Yeah,
a
me
lot of great
too.
stuff, especially like AC/DC. I
Yeah.
thought
Yeah.
Brian Johnson like kind of
Yeah.
made. I thought was I like him
Don't
more than
say
Bon
it.
Scott.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
you can say that. That's fine. I mean,
Back in
yeah.
Black was such a fucking like perfect rock and roll record.
I hated Back in Black for the longest time because of how big You Shook Me Off. I'm such a person that I hate the thing that's popular.
I know. I can feel
and
that.
I'm big
yeah.
time into like I want to know the thing that other people don't know. It's like my music, like I'm always trying to find something different on music or whatever. So it's like I
It's
only
deep
listen to
state.
this thing. Basically,
Fucking deep
so like
state.
I
State, bro.
hated Back in Black for the longest time because of that song, and I still skip that song when I listen to the record
a great
usually.
song.
But like everything else in the record sounds so good. The drums sound incredible. on the
Yeah,
record.
bro. Phil. I can't remember his name.
Jackson.
Collins.
No. Nope. Yep. Yeah, Phil Collins.
I love your energy.
And he went to jail for a while too. The drummer. Oh,
Yeah,
what's his name?
my uncle was in a band back in the day called Critical
I
Mass.
thought you were going to say he was in ACDC.
No,
I
but he
like,
was friends with those guys. They
Critical
they were like a punk, like a pop punk of this like the 70s, you know.
Interesting, that's
and,
cool.
and they recorded at Abbey Road, and like Chris Squire
Oh, wow.
from Yes produced a record.
Wow.
And they were recording there at the same time that AC/DC was recording there, so they would see them and hang out with them in the studio with like Bon Scott and like
That's
all those
tight.
guys. So like obviously my uncle was super partial to Bon Scott and like that
Yeah.
era. But for me,
No, Brad Johnson's rad.
I mean, like that was the first AC/DC record that I got when I was in middle school.
Yeah.
And then my uncle showed me the Bon Scott stuff later, which I enjoyed. But to me, Back in Black is like the perfect rock and roll record.
Totally.
It's like from front to back. And granted, yeah, it all sounds like the same, but that's what makes it so perfect. They were so authentically them. And Angus Young, nobody gets an SG tone. Nobody gets an SG to sound like that.
Dude, he's incredible. Like
Yeah.
even now, he's still killing it. I saw them twice when they came back with the Black Ice. I saw them twice on that tour, and it was just, I mean, that was a few years ago now, but even then, man, I was just like, holy crap.
I gotta say, I've never listened to an AC/DC album like front,
Really?
Oh,
front
man.
to back. I know all
My-
the fucking songs, but I've never like
Yeah.
listened like.
My
deep dive.
favorite is Let There Be Rock.
Fuck yeah.
Because I remember that I read that they recorded that record by turning their amps up like all the way and then like facing up against the wall. And like when you listen to that, there's some guitar stuff where it sounds like Angus's guitar is like exploding.
Yeah.
It's just like the craziest feedback stuff that comes in and out of the tunes. Like that record sounds so raw.
Hell yeah.
And like I really like that record a lot. I think it's like so sick. Like I was like 13 playing a guitar recital, playing Let There Be Rock on down.
I feel like everybody like when they were first started playing guitar was like studying Angus Young, man.
for sure. It's like every kid learned how to play that because it was like also like obtainable to play.
Totally, it was, and so much fucking attitude too.
Yeah.
So it's like if you can nail those, like to me, Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution which was on the Back in Black
Yeah.
album, which was like one of my favorite songs by them. That like that riff right there. Yeah, God, it's my fuck. God damn it, bro. Yeah.
3 for 3, boys.
We're gonna have to delete this entire thing.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Where's like the Greta Von Fleet for AC/DC?
Oh,
For
man.
God's sakes, let's just not let that happen.
Let's make it happen.
I
You know what I
mean,
mean?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I've never listened to them. I've seen all the
put
stuff.
on a Zeppelin record.
I know.
No, you have listened to them.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have.
I guess that's
Yeah.
true.
Just Led Zeppelin 1.
It's like
Yeah.
anybody.
3, 4.
Here's the thing with Greta Van Fleet. Anybody that tells me they love that band has literally never listened to Zeppelin. That's it.
Maybe they like them too.
I'm not. No. I'm not
That
being
gives me-
facetious.
that-
I'm saying
yeah.
that they actually are just uneducated on Zeppelin.
Oh,
It's like
boy.
you heard "Stairway to Heaven" and we're like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's about it for me.
Stairway Denied.
So I'm not talking shit about AC/DC by any means because they
Yeah.
are like the legends, you know, at
Totally.
rock and roll. But like they have a formula,
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and so that formula, like,
if it works, I guess do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
of course, and it's like there's a big cheese factor to every one of their songs, which
Yeah.
is like it's corny, but at the same time, like
Yeah.
it's fucking
It's
they're
also-
original.
It's all. Yeah. It's also like "Long Way to the Top" if you want to rock and roll, which is Bon Scott. Like I mean, that's like that whole song is just about like grinding it out and be like, if you want to fucking play the game, if you want to see what we see, it's a fucking you gotta like grind it out. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.
the way the lyrics work for like any of their songs is like you're putting a lot of words in their mouth and thinking that that's deep.
No, it's not that it's deep. No one's saying that it's
Because
deep.
you can say anything. It's like a horoscope basically at songs.
But you haven't listened to. First off, I'm not saying they're deep.
You would have to tell me an AC/DC song that I haven't heard before.
Long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.
Of course, I've heard that song.
Rock and roll and noise pollution.
Yes, of course, I've heard that song.
Just listen to the whole
I'm
Back
not
in
an
Black
idiot.
album. Listen to any of their earlier shit too with Bon Scott.
Everybody's heard those songs.
It's,
The Let There Be Rock record that's a cool one to try.
it's just like it's not that it's deep,
It's
right?
not deep.
Like nothing about like
But what you
talking
were
about
saying,
you
I was
gotta-
like, no, but those lyrics, dude.
I'm not saying they're. I'm saying that it's cool because it's like they're just kind. It's especially at that time where rock and roll was kind of like this like the conservative kind of right was very like prominent at that time. So it was like censoring like like certain things and like can't do it's like anti.
I think if you have to
thing.
say the words rock and roll in your song and the lyrics, it's pretty cheesy.
But it's the 70s, man. It's not now, right? If
Yeah.
it's now, then yeah, it's fucking cheesy.
That's
but
rock and roll, man.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly that. That's what I'm trying to say. It's pretty cheesy.
rock
I watched
and
Airheads
roll.
the other night.
Yeah, exactly.
that's
The Lone Rangers.
Yeah, exactly.
It's people. What was that movie with Ryan Reynolds and what's her I forget what her name is, but it's like he plays
Van Wilder.
no Just Friends whatever, and then
When he's fat and then he gets skinny.
that
Yeah.
fucking douchey guy that was a nerd in high school and became good looking later on. Rusty something was his name in the movie.
Trombone, I think.
Yeah, and he just goes like. His response to everything is like rock and roll.
Yeah.
He's such a douchebag. Yeah, rock and roll.
Do you find that you gravitate more towards like lyrics when you listen to songs?
No,
then?
he does.
Okay.
I like the other part.
He's a synthesizer guy, but it has
Yeah.
it doesn't have synths. He's
You
not
don't
into
want
it. Yeah.
That's-
On the floor and
that's not tr-
synthesizers.
That's definitely not true because I do like songs with lyrics and everything like that for sure. But I'm definitely. I'm not somebody to memorize lyrics to a song.
Yeah, I'm not either. That's just
I
when
just
you
can't do it.
That's when you brought up about the like lyrics are not super
Yeah.
deep. That just made me think that.
But he was trying to make a point. I was like,
Yeah.
I stopped him real quick.
Yeah.
shut him down.
You're not getting
You're not
deep
getting
about
that one, dude.
AC/DC.
Okay. Speaking of
AC/DC is fucking paper thin, and that's fine because they
It's fine.
rock and it's dope.
You
Just
kinda
leave it
need
at that.
that.
Don't
you're right.
don't
You're
try
right.
to break them apart like
You're
that.
right. You're right. You're right. I'm just
The name of the band is AC/DC.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
With a
What's that stand for?
it's the fucking the
Alternating
electrical
current, direct
bro.
current.
Yeah.
But do you think that's
a
what
ba-
they were going for? It's like it's deep in.
Oh, we're talking
it's-
about band names now.
Yeah.
It's literally about fucking the David Goliath.
What?
Fucking
No,
thing,
no,
bro.
no,
Tesla
bro, no.
and what's his fucking
That's
face? Who did
they were
everything
like
else.
that sounds
my
dope.
God. Edison,
Everybody
bro.
in the world's gonna be able to fucking tell what.
No,
that
I'm just
band
saying
is.
this is that. I'm
Nope.
settling on that right there.
Nope.
Oh, man.
Okay, speaking
They're not
of,
called alternating current, direct current. They're not. That's not their band name.
Speaking of
No.
speaking of
Zero death in AC/DC.
Oh, boy.
The band's dope. Just don't dive.
speaking of David,
Shallow wind. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
man.
speaking of David and Goliath
Yeah.
scenarios, Cash App is now sponsoring artists. By the way, guys, we have a new segment that we're
Yeah.
gonna start doing. I don't know what we're calling it yet.
Instant cash over. Kelly Blue Blood.
Yeah, we're not fucking. That's no product placement for them. We're edit that part out.
Oh, boy.
I couldn't
So-
come up with a name yet.
Yeah, we don't know what the segment's called yet. So if you guys have anything to
Something
interject, let us
with
know.
Bottom and Bill and News and
Oh,
Radar.
Radar or something, you
Yeah.
know. Anyways, what's happening right now is Cash App is funding albums for artists,
They're
independent
becoming.
artists.
They're basically becoming a label.
Right, except
Yeah.
that there's no they haven't disclosed how they're gonna recoup their investment. So people are thinking that it's like a grant. However, they also bought out Tidal,
Yeah.
which is a streaming platform. For those who don't know, it's a streaming platform that offers like high definition
Yep.
streaming, so you can listen to music and it's not going to sound terrible like it does on Spotify or for sure YouTube. No offense. However, so the speculation is that they're going to be offering exclusivity deals with Tidal.
Yeah, that's definitely what it is. For
Right.
sure. They're trying to get more people on their platform.
Right.
They're trying to up what they're doing because the thing is, you can't compete with Spotify.
Nope.
Right.
Like the thing about Spotify is like, everybody's like Apple Music, blah, blah, or whatever. But Spotify is like their app is so good.
Yeah, you can't beat it. Yeah.
And it's like the algorithms are great. It kind of like directs your listening. They like pay attention. I mean, maybe they're watching maybe too much, but they're like kind of they can direct what you're listening to, find similar artists. It's like so well made.
And even beyond that, what I've realized with all streaming platforms, including movie streaming platforms, it's the layout. You know what I mean? It's so easy and user friendly. Like I know it's the same thing when I'm going through like Netflix and like other things. I'm like, okay, Netflix is by far the most like just visually appealing one to be on. Amazon is too clunky.
What do they call that? It's user interface. GUI. I think is what it's called, right?
GUI.
Yeah. GUI. It's got a really good GUI.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the G stand for?
Good.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I don't know what the
It can't
G.
be real.
It's
I don't know
good
what
user interface. GUI.
I don't. But that's the whole. That's a huge
I
selling
hope
point.
it's that. I hope that's
Like,
what
can you look that up? What?
Yeah.
It's
I'm sure.
graphic. But
Graphic.
Okay.
Oh,
GUI.
So
Bummer.
Spotify by far has. I've done Apple. Amazon's is terrible.
Yeah.
And like I've like by far Spotify is the best one.
Nugs is pretty good actually.
Is it?
I'm gonna shout out to Nugs if you like.
But it's all
listening to-
it's a lot of live performances mostly.
No, not necessarily. There's actually
Just Grateful Dead recordings from the 70s. And
that is 100% true. There are a lot of those. But
By the way, Nugs, we're looking for a sponsor. So
oh my god.
They got
Like-
any of those John Mayer recordings or what?
Yes, they have John Mayer. They have like almost any band you can think of. They've got like Metallica live shows all the way back.
that
from, like,
actually
the
sounds
80s.
kind of sick.
There you go. And they
Not the Grateful Dead ones, but the other ones.
to each their own. If you don't like the Grateful Dead, that's fine. Like whatever. If you're like one in a million that doesn't like the Grateful Dead. But the whole point is Nugs has got a really good GUI too. Like as soon as you are done listening to a show, they're like, if you like this, you're probably gonna like all these bands. Too. I'm
Right.
like, fuck
That sounds
yeah.
tight. I'll have to check that. It's an app.
It's an app, but it's not free.
Okay.
They don't have like I don't know if they have a free version or not, but I think it's $12.99 a month or something like that.
what do you guys think about that? Would you guys take like like
A Cash App deal,
Yeah.
for an album, but that's only going to be on Tidal.
Well, they don't.
speculatively, we
Where
don't
else
know
is
that.
it going to be?
We don't know.
They're not going to make money off of it, so they'd be like only on Tidal.
Who knows, mate? What if their marketing budget, right, for Cash App, if there is one?
Here's a great idea.
What if it
let's,
just
let's let a bank start a music label.
That's what they do now, though. How many
I'm out.
artists take out loans from? It doesn't matter. The point being is that like, what if they allocate most of their marketing budget to just work on Tidal? However, you can still operate on the other platforms.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be. There's no way they're not going to have an integrated thing with the other thing they own. It's like, why bother?
Yeah, exactly.
But also, like, how much money are they offering? They don't know. Like, are they going to give you like what, $50,000?
They haven't disclosed any financial details
Yeah.
on the whole thing. All we know is that they're going to be giving money. Well, they're going to be offering money to fund creative endeavors to artists, specifically music, and they just bought out Tidal. So that's what we know now.
That means that they're going to be on Tidal, and then they're
But
going
it
to.
doesn't mean that they're going to sign an exclusivity deal because if they take a percentage
But
on the
it's
back
probably
end,
gonna be
but
that.
if they take a percentage on the back end, then they can still see profits from Spotify and from YouTube and from Apple Music and all that,
Yeah.
right? So, but if they just allocate most of their marketing budget to Tidal, then it still gives preferential treatment to the platform they just bought, but they're also not canceling out revenue coming from other platforms.
Yeah, it's like a win-win.
Yeah.
I could see that happening as well, actually.
I'm just curious as to what the mindset is there, right?
Well, if that's the case, then I'm sponsored by Cash App.
Yeah, I guess give me money. I guess. I wonder how picky they're gonna be with it, though.
So that's where I had some opinions that I wanted to jump in on this.
Yeah,
I think, Anton, you called this David and Goliath. I think this is Goliath and Goliath.
it's all Goliath.
You think
man.
so?
Yeah,
we're
like
we're all
artist
Davids.
they mentioned in this article is working with Ariana Grande.
Can you pull it up? Is there a way to pull it up?
Yeah, it's on Gene.
Yeah, it's just a couple Philistines. You know what I'm saying?
So like,
that was a fucking Bible joke.
Where's it?
yeah, so it's
I've been in church 4 times in my life, so
Good for
I don't
you.
know.
so it's,
But-
it's a songwriter that worked on Thank You Next. So like,
Oh yeah, you're
I
right.
think they're handing these out to like 30 people. It's a total money grab for Cash App. That's
Cash
all they're gonna
grab.
do. This is not gonna be. This is like. this is it.
Yeah,
This is it right here.
you're probably not wrong.
It's. I mean, the company that bought Title's owned by Jack Dorsey. So
He owns
like,
Twitter.
it's just
Right.
it's just how to.
He doesn't own Twitter anymore.
Oh, he doesn't.
Oh, he doesn't.
No.
I didn't know that.
I think
Yeah, he sold it.
Didn't Elon Musk buy
No,
Twitter?
No, he
No,
that deal
but
fell through.
he just cashed out.
Oh, he
Yeah.
cashed.
No, he
yeah.
did.
Yeah, no,
And now he does yoga like every other billionaire.
Elon Musk. That's just funny. He was like, "Yeah, there's no way to get this to work to scale. I'm out." Anyways,
Yeah.
so this, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Who knows? Like maybe, like, it's funny to me, man, that like these bigger publications like Rolling Stone and like whatever. It's just like there's an entire ecosystem that exists like beneath the surface that these guys just like don't even talk about, right?
Yeah.
It's like this idea, like on that Adam Neely vlog that he did about like touring and all that stuff with what was his band's name? Doesn't matter, but like
I don't know what you're talking about.
they're talking about like what it costs to go on tour for bands, which is like
Oh, yeah,
you know,
him. Yeah. Sorry.
17 grand or something is like the minimum. And I'm like, bro, like you guys are just overlooking. I granted, like we don't contribute to the industry financially in the way that like a lot of these bigger bands do, but there's an entire ecosystem that exists down here that we're just overlooking. Like you're saying the 4 or 5 day runs, 3 day runs. We've been doing that for years now.
Yeah.
It's like how many artists have been doing that for years that we're just not talking about. We give them no acknowledgement.
Yeah.
But the music that they're putting out is arguably as good, and in some cases better than what's being put out on like on the international level. It's just, to me, it's just bullshit. Like they're talking about independent artists, but like you're an independent artist because you weren't the person that sang on what's the Ariana Grande tune?
Thank you, next.
Thank you, next. You weren't the one who sang it, but you wrote it. But
Yeah.
you're independent because like you don't have her recognition. That's bullshit to me. Like, what about the other artists that are trying to like strive to come up and do the thing? You know what I mean?
I don't think this is gonna affect any of us. Probably, I don't think we're gonna get any of this money.
That's what pisses me off about it, though.
Yeah.
because
it
what
could be cool.
if they gave it to the up and coming independent artists, I think it could be dope as fuck.
Oh,
But
that's
it's
what
like
you're saying.
what they're
Okay.
what they're calling independent artists are people that wrote like huge top 40 pop tunes.
Yeah.
And because they weren't the ones that sang it, well, we're contributing to the arts by giving these people a voice. It's like they're good, man. They made their money. Like,
Yeah,
what about
it's-
us? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. I think this is definitely only going to affect larger artists or larger independents that are probably already have. Like, I think they're trying to cash in on, like, they see how, like, bands are making a lot of money off of TikTok and songs are going viral off of TikTok that, like, they're like nobody or whatever like that. So they're trying to figure out how to get into, like, that kind of stuff too. Because I think I read a different article, I searched more about it, and they did mention a thing about, like, TikTok because that's becoming bigger and bigger now too.
TikTok, I mean, they have a whole thing. What is this?
The independent artist.
Let me just chime in. She makes $126 million.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
independent
she's a
artists.
struggling,
fucking grand as an independent artist.
struggling
Fuck outta
artist.
here.
Yeah,
Well,
It's
she
like-
didn't.
it's
She
one
didn't
spark
do
all over
anything,
again, man.
though.
I mean,
it's just one
Rolling
spark.
Stone, whoever is calling them independent artists, she didn't do anything.
No, it's not. We're not ragging on her. We're ragging on the industry for calling her an independent
thanks
artist.
Rolling Stone for that.
Yeah.
This up and coming millionaire.
Yeah, it's just,
That it's an up and coming publication.
That's really funny
yeah.
to me.
yeah, that's insane. Yeah, that's-
independent artists.
Independent artists.
How are we gonna make our new record?
yeah. I don't know. Maybe maybe just like don't spend like 10 grand on a vacation and then just write a record.
How are we gonna fucking? We gotta fucking play so many melon mushrooms for this record. We'll never get it.
You just
Vicky, how much you got in your bank? Just only got 126 million.
only 126
Yeah.
mil.
Here's another
I mean, she's
five.
got
Go
that.
make another hit
She's got
record.
that. Probably that's assets and stuff too.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's her net, if that's her net worth. I mean, whatever. No, you're right.
I'm an
that
independent
cash is
artist
non-
with like a $10 million home.
Yeah, exactly.
So you think it's a joke then? Because it's
I don't think
just,
it's a joke. I think it's bull. I think it's like if you're going to really try and fund the arts, then like
they're not doing that. They're the name of they have cash in their fucking.
It's a cash
name.
grab.
So
Yeah.
this
Cash
right here is what this
Cash
like
grab.
whole highlighted thing right here is like this sums it up. Like it's a pop culture reference and like hip hop and stuff. They're just trying to like back it up. They're like, oh, people are referencing us now instead of like cash. It's like
Yeah.
how much money I've got in my Cash App. They're just
Cash App is a great fucking name. Like that,
Yeah,
they've got a
yeah.
great
Yeah, it's a
name.
good name.
it's also
Awful fucking.
I use
app, though.
Venmo
Also,
personally.
Venmo guy too.
yeah. I'm about because
Venmo
guess
guy. I have
why?
my Venmo card. I use it all.
Guess why?
Why?
What's it called? The GUI.
Yeah.
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 because Cash App's GUI sucks.
It does.
You can use
Straight
like
up.
fun emojis on Venmo.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll just scroll through and heart other people's transactions just for fun.
Which is like it's just like
It's really creepy.
Yes, thank you. It is that. That's why it's so funny. It's like it's hilarious that you do that just to fuck with people. I love that.
Oh man.
Oh my god, that's
Oh,
hilarious.
I saw you bought them sushi. I love that. I love your guys' friendship.
Yes.
I love that you guys are so honest with your finances.
How about don't make that shit private though, right? Let's see how much you really love your friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh man.
Well, whatever. Maybe it'll be great. Who knows?
I'm sure it's gonna be great.
Maybe it's great. It probably won't be, but here's to hoping, I guess.
I heard a similar, not to go like way off topic, but I heard a similar
go.
article that they're trying to make TikTok trends into NFTs now.
Oh my gosh.
They should do that. 100% they should do that.
How I forgot what the article said. I don't know if I didn't send it in that email, but like we're not gonna find it now. But like it is what a wild concept.
There's
though.
an NFT for the corn kid.
Yeah, literally that,
Yeah.
bro. It's
Yeah.
fucking wild,
Dude, did you know that this is again deep dive? The corn kid song is the same guy who's like made every
I did know
viral
this.
song.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
saw that like, the other day. Like
Wait, what?
he did the what's the rape one.
Oh, the
Climbing in your windows.
Yeah,
blah, blah.
yeah.
He did that
They're
song.
raping everybody now.
Raping everybody. Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
He did
yeah.
that song.
He's been doing it for like 10 years. Yeah.
Is this the
Yeah.
Key of Awesome? Isn't that what it is? Or
No, it's a different guy. He also did the Chrissy Wake Up song. That's
Chrissy,
like
wake up. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. It's like one dude making all of those.
Yeah.
No shit.
Very smart. Like way to like hop on a viral trend like really easily. He's probably making so much money.
There's been articles out about people record labels making songs for TikTok, like the
Yeah, of course.
ABCDEFU.
Dude, yeah.
That song.
Of course.
That
Yeah.
was made like they made ABBA songs.
Nothing's
you know
real,
what I mean?
man. Nothing's real.
That's-
Everything's, the
that's-
simulation is
And
all
that's
written
fine.
out.
Whatever. It's
no.
capitalist country. You can make whatever you want.
That's fine. That's an obvious.
NFTs are great, but I think eventually they're gonna start doing body parts as NFTs. 100%.
Oh my God.
What a wild concept.
But think about it. Like you could be like, yeah, I sold my hand, and so somebody owns my hand.
No, you're right though. Your body
I have
becomes
nothing
real
to say
estate.
about
Yeah, without a doubt.
That's
You can sell your feet. I mean,
Interesting.
I sell my feet.
you know for somebody who's
Only toes.
for one of the most dense people I know in my life. That's a pretty deep thought.
But
right there.
yeah, anything can be an NFT at this point. My
That-
fucking house plan is an NFT now. Chuck's
Oh,
an
sick.
NFT.
But no, it's crazy. Yeah,
Even though
just-
it's an actual thing.
I know that's the thing, right?
NFT thing is I still can't even wrap my head around it. It's so crazy.
Neither can I. That's why it's crazy to think about like a viral trend can be an NFT.
Yeah.
Like that's like you.
The
like,
NBA is starting to fucking do NFTs of like plays, like historic plays, like the fucking last shot, or not the last shot, but the shot that Michael Jordan took to
Yep.
fucking win Game 6
I heard
against the
about
Jazz.
that, yeah.
Like that's gonna be an NFT.
Yeah.
Like
How?
you own. It's just the way an NFT works. Is like
Yeah.
it's like the original copy, like the way that you could do anything. The NBA owns the rights to all of the footage that has ever been taped.
Yeah, I guess
get-
that's true.
So
Yeah,
they can sell that as if it was the
it's
Mona
a digital
Lisa.
stamp. It's literally it's just a digital stamp, and then you say this digital stamp is worth X amount of dollars, and if you don't have that stamp, it's not real.
But
Period.
you could
Crazy.
go to where it's just like it's just words basically. You own the NFT of my foot, even though it's attached to my fucking leg. You own my foot. I
Yeah.
can do whatever I want with my
Because
foot.
it's literally
But
it's
you
a,
own
it's a-
it.
it's a confirmation code when you book a hotel.
Yeah.
It's like a confirmation code that you get, and it's just like if you don't have this confirmation code, it's not real.
Anyways, this body is for sale. Blue Light Special. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Oh, the NFT.
Oh, damn, I
horse
forgot
racing.
about
I've seen
this.
yeah.
Yeah, the NFT horse
We're
race.
bringing it back.
And-
Jesus Christ.
And we're also like a bunch of guys that know nothing about this.
I know a
No
lot
idea.
about
I-
this.
Yeah, way more than I.
Yeah. Anything could be an NFT.
Yeah.
The horse race is funny. I saw somebody was watching. There's a marble racing. Like it's
I watched
little
that, yeah.
marbles, and they just like roll them on a track.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I watch that from time to time. Big sports guy.
Yeah, I'm not a sportsman at all.
I am.
Neither am I. I
Yeah.
totally get why they should exist, just culturally speaking. But like,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
It's not that they should exist or anything like that, or for culture. It's just entertainment, man.
No, but there's a necessity for it. There's a deeper thing to it, which is what I'm about.
Yeah,
right.
and
But
it's
people like
ridiculous.
you just watch it because you're dance.
No,
and
I'm
you're
saying.
just like,
I want to
think-
know this deeper thing of the cultural necessity.
It's
Yeah,
the same-
why do you need to break stuff down like that? Just
that's
fucking
all it is.
No, just
because
accept
we didn't have
it.
sports, we'd be hunting each other. That's all it
not
is.
true.
Yeah, it's all
Hunting
it
each
is.
other if we didn't have sports.
100%.
Well, I have a question
I mean, that
for you.
sounds like
When
a
do you-
sport too.
When
That's
do
what
you-
I'm saying. But it's just we've just regulated it and put it into a scenario
No, man.
where we don't have to kill anybody
I saw
to do
because
it.
no, I think it's people like competition. It's like a human nature of being competitive.
Yeah,
And some people
live
are
or you
more-
die in hunting. That's what it's literally just
Has
boiled down to
nothing-
that.
I totally disagree with that.
Okay.
How does catching a ball have anything to fucking do with hunting?
It's just about winning. It's about winning defeat. That's all it is.
No.
That's literally all.
I mean,
it's
you're
totally
taking it to more of a
disagree.
primal level.
That's
I
what I'm
guess
saying.
Speaking.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's why there's a cultural
Yeah.
necessity for
Nah.
it. If we didn't have that,
That's what war is.
you just.
I mean,
you just-
sports is war, man.
No, it's not.
It literally is though. There's hundreds of millions of dollars on the lines on these
Have you
things.
seen golf?
Hundreds of millions of dollars on the line for these things.
No
And
one's punching each other in the face.
doesn't matter.
Although,
it's all about
did you know that-
winning.
that,
and they break
uh,
golf clubs, which are
I
expensive.
just like
as
the
well.
Jim Daly memes
Fun-
that I see.
John Daly?
John
factoid.
Daly.
That's
That's
right.
how little I know about it.
Don't worry about it. John Daly is the fucking man.
I just like the memes where it's like I saw one where it's like lighting guy at the gig and then it's like front of house guy at the gig. I
Those are
love
new
those.
memes. Those are new dank fresh memes right now.
I don't
so.
want to get into sports things. This is not a sports podcast, and I know I know shit about
could
sports.
be.
But philosophically speaking, there's a necessity for them. You can call me dumb and crazy for saying that.
Yeah, you are.
But like your willingness to just shut it down,
Yeah.
is dance. Is all I'm
it's
saying.
not dense. It's
Anyways,
not.
Oh boy.
unpopular opinions.
Unpopular opinions. Let's wrap this
Fucking
show up.
do this, Jack. You've been fucking so much fun to have on
Yeah,
the show.
way to kick
man.
off the new
Thanks.
season, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I
Yeah.
didn't. I looked at this like a couple of times.
Did we hit everything? Did we get everything?
Not
Doesn't
even
even matter.
close.
Doesn't even matter.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Let me.
I mean, that was you spent time on that.
Not really. We spent an hour on it.
You can
You only
have-
spent an hour on this, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, because here's the thing, bro.
Why would you say that?
No, because here's the thing,
I mean,
right?
it's true, but yeah.
We've been doing this a while. We can carry a conversation, but either
Oh my
way,
gosh.
here's the thing. If I gotta look at this thing,
I get it.
I only looked at this thing because I wanted to hit our like bottom of the bill, like our segments, right?
Yeah, I get it.
If I have to look at this thing for a conversation, it's not good.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't look at this thing once for a conversation, which
Well, that's
means
good.
you've been a dope ass
I
guest.
appreciate that.
So
That's
thank
good.
you for
Yeah.
coming on the show.
I'm
for this
happy
thing.
to be here.
Now let's fucking do some unpopular opinions. I gotta grab my phone so I can look at my unpopular opinions.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't remember them off the top of my head.
Oh, for fuck's sake. All right, well, I know mine on the top of
When
my
you
head.
texted me
I'm
that, like
listening.
you texted me that list earlier of everything for tonight, and I was just like, my day has been insane, like outside doing yard work and all this other stuff, and so I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to sit down and like think about these things, and then like I went to Lowe's and I was walking around Lowe's because I needed to buy some stuff and full on dad mode, just going to Lowe's. That's
I
my
love
favorite
going to
thing.
Lowe's now. Once you
Um,
hit your 30s, you're like Bruce
yeah.
Springsteen and fucking hardware
And smoking
stores.
meats. Oh,
Yeah.
man, we didn't even
Smoking
talk about
meats?
smoking meats. That's a huge part of my
I
life
gotta
now.
I'm gonna get a smoker.
Fun fact: I saw Bruce Springsteen when I was 11 years old, and it
Nobody
was
ca-
amazing.
nobody
Wow, I
cares.
thought you were gonna say it was terrible.
No, it was, I'm a Springsteen. My dad's a big Springsteen guy. I love Springsteen.
No,
Every
So that,
every
you know.
dad is a big Springsteen
My dad's
guy.
not, but he's a little older. I don't know.
How old's your dad?
That's a great question, actually.
You don't know?
He was born in '53.
My dad was born in '54. So
Oh
right
wow,
there.
never
yeah.
mind. That's odd. That my dad's just not Springsteen.
My
guy.
dad just. I think my dad came up. My dad's like an immigrant from Cuba, so I think he was just trying to assimilate the best
That's
that
cool.
he could.
So he came straight. Sorry, before did he come like? He himself was born in Cuba and then moved here.
Well, yeah, he was born in Cuba. His parents
When he
took
was,
him
like,
here
little, maybe.
yeah, because Castro was taking over.
Yeah.
59. They came here in 61, and
That stuff's so interesting to me.
yeah, it's I could tell you I could go down the rabbit
Yeah.
hole, and I love that kind of stuff.
Another
But-
time.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, so
Somebody fart over there.
What do y'all? What do
They're
y'all?
talking about communist Cuba, and Billy's just patting the wall.
Billy also would love to live in communist Cuba. He's a big communist.
My dad worked for my dad's like boss for a place he worked for a long time. He was same thing. He's a Cuban immigrant. And
Oh,
stuff
yeah?
like that. So I remember hearing about that.
You shouldn't make fun of my disability, boys. I have pretty
You
severe.
got a touch of the tism.
No, I've
boy. Oh,
a kiss of the tiz, they
Kiss
say.
the tiz.
But I've got pretty bad ADHD.
Yeah.
So I lose concentration about
My-
things.
all right.
My
We can
po-
talk about guitars more.
No, my point being, my point being is I think my dad was
They
trying
think
to.
it's fucking hilarious. to do that, though. And they just cut to me when I'm like fucking spacing out. Whatever.
My point being is that I think my dad was trying to assimilate the best that he could. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I
He's
get
like,
that. So
yeah,
he's like,
fucking love
Born of the
Springsteen.
USA, my guy.
Yeah, for a guy that wasn't born in the USA, he really lives in some Springsteen.
Oh man.
And also Born to Run, right?
Oh jeez. Oh my
Ba-doom,
gosh.
chew. All right, let's do it.
Oh, man. I watched a video of the guy who, again, I watch a lot of mixing videos. I'm super into that. The guy who mixed that song, Bob Claremountain, and he
Yeah.
plays the isolated vocal of Bruce, and then it's like it sounds so insane.
Like good or bad?
Like it's just like it's crazy. It's just I don't know. It's cool because it's
Yeah.
just him, but it's just like so much.
intense.
Yeah, it's intense. And then he
Yeah.
plays the drums he plays the drums dry.
Max Weinberg.
Yeah.
Dude hits those motherfuckers, bro.
He plays them dry, no reverb or anything like that, and they're just like, oh man, it sounds cool, but it's like not. And then he just goes, oh yeah, here it is, and it's just like that's the song. It's just so crazy, like that mixer made that song.
Yeah, it
It's
wasn't
so sick.
performances or like.
I mean, it is, but it's his like he took what they made and then made it just like so much more.
Jimmy Iovine was involved with all that, right?
Yeah.
He was a producer on all that. Yeah.
Yeah, Bob Claremountain is the dude who mixed it. He's
Okay.
He's rad. He owns Apogee. That's like his big thing.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, he's tight. I'm obsessed with mixers. It's a side of me that I like. Super into like mixing and audio and things like
Fuck
that.
yeah. Yeah, I wish I would have gotten that. I hate all that stuff.
Yeah.
I just like playing guitar and writing songs. That's my thing.
I don't know anything about mixers at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like all that tech stuff, like just like it's not that I hate it because I love producing. Like I love like hearing the ideas and like telling someone to push the buttons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm just like bad with all the tech stuff. Like all
Yeah.
the I know something. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
But unpopular
What's
opinions.
about these bad opinions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Bill, do you want to go first? Or
Sure. This is a pretty good one. The Beatles One album is the best Beatles record. 100%. Front to back,
Yes.
perfect.
Yes.
It's
mean,
perfect.
Yes.
Objectively, it is because it's
Yeah.
all their number one hits.
Like name. Yeah, like it's
kind
perfect.
of like a more of a
That was my first introduction to the Beatles. Was that? I had
Was
that
it
on-
really?
I had that on CD. I still have that.
Do you remember
CD.
the paid programming TV commercials that
Yeah.
would
No,
come on
I don't
all the
remember
time?
that.
I remember
Like
those.
every single fucking
Yeah.
on the hour, it would be like
remember
Beatles
those.
One with all their greatest hits.
Oh, man.
But it was kind of tongue in cheek saying that, but it's hilarious to think about like.
Well, it's objectively true.
Well, yeah, because like you go to Abbey Road and you're just like, oh, you got to go through like Me and Mr. Mustard and all this other fucking bullshit.
Such great. I love that.
And you're like,
that
oh, here
song.
comes the sun. Oh yeah, put that on there. Nice.
So here's the thing. This is how much of a Beatles.
Which is the number one played Beatles song on Spotify, by the way.
Here's how much of a B-tard I am.
What?
You heard me.
Oh,
I'm sorry. American retarded.
Oh man. Oh boy.
Not good.
So
I don't know about this anymore.
yeah, I told you, bro. I tried to warn you.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. When I was a kid, I was introduced to like the Beatles anthology, right? So
yeah,
like,
the one album.
not the one album. It's an
It's the one
anthology
album.
record.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
with you on this
Yeah,
one.
right.
Not the one album.
The anthology.
It was like literally like all these like it was like shit from like literally club recordings from back like in Hamburg and
That's
like
cool.
and like all this other shit. So like that was my introduction to the Beatles. And my dad's like every birthday, my dad would get me like another Beatles record
cool.
up until I was like a teenager.
When did you get one?
He got one off the record club thing that he was a part of. You would like circle.
How old were you?
Hold on, I'm about to get there. You would circle. You get like a magazine in the mail every month, and you would circle what you want. You'd send it back in,
Yeah.
and they'd send you shit. So he got that. He got the Beatles one album. Then I was 11 or 12 years old at that point. I was already
me too.
like deep into like all of their records by that point. So when the Beatles one album came out, I was kind of like bitter about that.
Why?
Because I was like, there's so many great songs by the Beatles that weren't number one hits. Like why? Like and people who get introduced to just this don't have the full scope of the thing.
Yeah.
Hey Chris, can you pull up the track list for the Beatles one album?
Yeah, it's great.
It's
No,
incredible.
no, no. I just want to see it. And
No,
see
they
if
had a
there's-
lot of number one hits. And they're my favorite band of all time. You're not going to get me on this, right? I love the Beatles
Yeah.
to death, okay? But like, I just feel like just go listen to their records and pick which ones you like the best. You know? what I
No,
mean?
that's what's so great about this album, though, is somebody already did that and then just got the best songs and then put them on this album. Can you zoom in a little bit, tough
Oh my
guy?
gosh.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And I love it. They kind of like just they put a little bit of everything in there.
Wow.
Like they start with like the
Look how short
older
those songs
stuff
are.
and-
I know, right? 220.
Man,
Come on.
bring back
Oh,
short
man.
songs.
We can work it out. What a great song.
And they even put some Ballad of John and Yoko. Well, that was a Beatles song, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't.
I mean, technically, one of them's in there.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Why do you think they put Ballad of John and Yoko? And do you think that somebody was just like, you need to have this many number one hits? And they were just like, you know what? Fuck it. We'll give him a John Lennon song.
Yeah. Throw them a bone, I guess.
Those are good ones. I'll tell you that
Penny
much.
Lane. They're amazing songs, but bro, the entire records, like
Yeah.
like the Beatles, like especially from like 65 and on, the point was like to listen to the whole record. It wasn't just listen to like one song off the
Yeah,
record.
but the Beatles also did that bullshit too, where they'd be like, "Here's 5 new fucking songs," and then the B-side would be all songs from the other records.
Yeah, true. Well, no, just with Yellow Submarine. That's all it was.
And Magical Mystery Tour.
Yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
so-
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
Beatles are great.
Anyways,
10,
all right.
10 fucking studio albums.
What do you feel about
More
about
like
Beatles
6 and
one
a half,
album?
really.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, that was like my first introduction to the Beatles.
It was
that.
for me too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude, I loved it. It is. It's every great song you want to hear, and it has a lot of the early '60s, the '60s Beatles, which is my favorite.
Yeah, totally.
I like the.
I don't know if it's my
I like
favorite
the
era, but
matching
yeah.
suits Beatles. That's my vibe.
I
Always has been.
love that shit too, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like Hard Day's Night and Please Please Me and that whole like
So
era
good.
for them. I love all that. People hate on that.
Love Me Do.
era. Love Me Do. Oh my god,
Stuff's
bro.
so cool, man.
Or like
It's
I should have
cool.
known better.
That was the
That's my
first.
favorite
That was the
song.
first track off the Beatles one. Did you see that?
What I should have known better.
No, Love Me Do.
Love Me
It's a
Do.
great song.
Yeah.
But I should have known better, which is off the same record.
Huh?
Which is like an amazing song that nobody
Right, but
would have
was
heard.
it a number one?
I love this, loving this dynamic right now. Let's say that.
All right, Beatles one is the best Beatles album.
Okay.
Everybody knows this.
So,
Popular opinion for sure.
my
Because it's not. If you look on Spotify, it's not listed under compilations. It's listed under albums. I think.
which is stupid as fuck.
That would be hilarious if it's on Spotify. It's like, yeah, it's all at the one album.
Okay, so here's my my unpopular opinion.
But you
this
guys,
week.
you wrote it down. I didn't.
Oh no,
prepare that
bro!
much.
I have these all the time. If I don't write them down, then I forget.
Yeah,
'em.
constantly. Like, everything he says is an unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
That's definitely me for sure.
So here's a hot take for you guys. This is my newest one that I just wrote down. Worst guitar solo of all time. Are you guys ready for it?
Oh yeah, here we go.
I already said it at the beginning of the episode.
No, you didn't. Dwayne Allman's solo and Layla.
I'd have to hear it.
Wow, you guys, if you guys don't like that comment, you're gonna hate mine.
No, let's hear it, boys.
I'll just combat.
Fight
with,
me
like,
on that.
The Nick Jonas guitar solo at the VMAs.
That was not a record.
I think
was
you
it?
think you recorded
Recorded.
Oh, well, there was a recording of it that I watched. I wasn't. there.
Okay.
Whatever.
studio album recording.
all right.
especially out of iconic guitar solos. This is one that's brought up all the time, right? We're talking like Eruption, Stairway to Heaven, fucking Comfortably Numb, and then we're talking about like the guitar solo in Layla,
But
and we're
it's so melodic. It hits those changes really nice.
except that it's so out of tune and he hits none of those changes, and he just it sounds good because of the way it's mixed. Going back to the engineer, it's not doesn't sound good because of what he played. I will die in the grave on this one right here.
I thought Eric Clapton wrote Layla.
Yeah,
It was a collaboration between him and Dwayne
So
Allman.
Derek
Dwayne Allman
and the
actually wrote
Dominoes.
this. Yeah,
With
Derek
the Dominoes. Right.
Derek and the Dominoes.
So which song are you talking about?
Layla.
Layla, the electric version.
with-
Derek and the Dominoes.
Are you talking about
With
when
Eric
it-
Clapton singing.
Yeah, Dwayne Allman.
That one.
Yeah.
That one. That guitar solo, you think is the worst guitar solo of all time?
The slide solo that happens on the B section of the song.
That part?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's 4 for 4.
That's
We're
all right.
totally
Wow.
getting
I'll
canceled.
combat you. What
But-
about the solo on Get Back with the out-of-tune bends and
Adds character. It's character. And I also don't.
Yeah, that's very
But it's
unpopular.
one
I
thing
also
for a slide
hold
to
on.
be out of tune. But
Hold
like
on.
A guitar bend.
Hold on.
I'm holding.
I also don't revere George Harrison or John Lennon as one of the greatest guitar players of all time.
Do you revere Dwayne Allman as one of the greatest guitar players of all time?
I love Dwayne Allman because I think that
You're gonna hate my
Derek
unpopular
Pipes him,
opinion.
huh?
Derek Pipes Dwayne. He's not
Because Derek came 30 years after the fact and was building on that concept. Dwayne Allman to me was an innovator in the slide realm.
Yeah, it
right?
is hard to
Nick Dale
compare like
pipeline.
the dude who did it first. Is
Yeah.
he better than the guy who learned how to do it from the guy who did it first?
Of course, the guy who learned how to do it from the guy who did it first
Or the
wouldn't
guy who
exist.
invented
I
it,
mean,
I
the
guess.
Sacred Steel stuff was around before Dwayne, and that's real.
Of course, and
but that's
and-
real. Like you
okay,
can't-
but like Derek
Dwayne
pulled from that.
popularized it in pop culture, but like really the roots of that are 20, 30 years beyond Dwayne. So
Okay,
did Dwayne
but-
really do it at all?
Yeah, of course, man, because he wasn't doing the Sacred Steel stuff.
But it's-
What he was
but it's
doing was
really what he
he was doing the
was.
Elmore James kind of like blues stuff, and then he added some of the church stuff into it. And Derek definitely dove more into the Sacred Steel stuff. I will say for sure. But you can't compare Derek to Dwayne. And at the end of the day, all I'm saying is that I love Dwayne Allman because he was such an innovator in the style. But that solo is the worst guitar solo of all the revered guitar solos.
Yeah, it's pretty good actually.
Listen to it again.
I don't have.
I've seen Goodfellas, bro.
It's been a while since I've listened to it to really really
I would
hear it. to
I
think about it.
encourage everyone to listen
listen
to
to it
it
on the ride home.
next time and but really hone in on that, because here's what I'll say is that somebody pointed that out to me when I was working at a music store back in the day, and he said that to me and I was like, you're fucking crazy. It's a beautiful guitar solo.
Yeah.
He was like, it just sounds like a bunch of out-of-tune notes to me. And I was like, okay. I listened to it on my ride home, and then I really just honed in on that, and I was like, oh my God, you're right. And I can't to this day unhear that now.
Doesn't start getting good until the piano starts, anyways.
That's the section I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's talking about
Literally. That's literally what I'm talking about.
Wait, I thought you were talking about the beginning of it.
No, he's talking.
That's
Yeah.
all great. It's not guitar solo. That's
Oh, we can't. Do
Oh.
Jesus Christ, Bill. So, anyways,
Wait, so you're talking about the guitar solo at the very end of the song?
Yeah, when it goes in the mellower section,
The piano that's in C? Okay.
Yes, that's what
Oh,
I'm talking about.
okay. Yeah, I don't really. I'd have to listen to it too.
yeah, listen to it
You're
again.
you're definitely never right. So I don't think that this is gonna be
Oh, I
right.
love this. This is sick.
I mean, talk about some out of tune bullshit.
Heartbreaker. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, bro.
I mean, Jimmy
I'm
Page.
just
Jimmy Page
the
was
worst?
he was a very sloppy guitar player.
Slop
Jimmy Page,
King.
for
You're not
sure.
gonna get an argument out of me there. I love Jimmy Page. He's one of my
Oh,
favorites.
dude, he's the man. It's
But-
crazy that he's an Asian woman now. He looks like it.
Oh,
Have you ever seen those memes where he looks like an Asian lady?
So good. You're not gonna get an argument out of me. That dude's a slop king.
Yeah.
I still love that guy to death.
Yeah.
And Dwayne Allman, to me, one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
As far as an innovator is concerned. However, that solo, one of the top.
Do you think he was mad because Eric Clapton's like, yeah, we're gonna make this a song, and it's gonna be famous because of me, and he's like, oh, okay.
It wasn't famous because of him. Anybody who needs to know,
Everybody thinks
Knew.
that song was
You know
written
what
by
I'm
Eric
saying?
Clapton. Come on, man.
it's
That's the
it's
truth.
irrelevant. It doesn't matter what the consumer thinks.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it kind of does.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, whoever's paying the guy, the people who needed to know knew what the deal was.
Yeah.
Is all I'm saying.
Why didn't they go back and fix it? They run out of tape. Do they just not care? Do they think it's fine?
Maybe they thought it was fine. But they were both fucking heroin junkies. They probably heard that, and then the engineer was like, you know what? I don't want to spend another 12 hours in here. I
Yeah.
can make this work. He made it work. Played it back for him, and then was like, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'd be like that, and you know what? It sold millions of copies.
100%. I'm not saying that it wasn't successful. I'm saying it was a poor guitar solo.
I'll have to listen
Objectively
to it again. I'll have to listen to it
objectively
again.
speaking.
Wrong notes.
Okay. So was the
La-ti-da.
performance poor or the solo poor? Because the solo itself is objectively like a good solo.
If you could
I think
implant,
I think performance and solo is like I think in
Interchangeable.
This, I think in this it goes hand in
all
hand.
right,
I
all right,
think.
all right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like if you had like a competent player play it.
yeah,
like
if you had
Derek.
if you put it on all the right notes,
Derek was playing
if
it.
Derek was playing it, I'm sure that he has. Derek would have nailed that. I think Dwayne didn't hit the right notes. I think the engineer did a lot of work, especially with the technology that they had at the
Yeah.
time.
Did
to
you know
make
that
it-
they
to
were
make it work.
brothers?
So, what's your unpopular opinion,
yeah.
Jack?
Well, it's guess so. I don't have like a blanket statement. It's more of the things I don't like. I guess. So
Okay.
I have two. Like I don't like
hear 'em.
the Allman Brothers.
Oh,
Okay.
at all.
I knew you were going that direction
Yeah.
because we had a conversation one time, and I won't name any names, but you said that you're not into the Southern rock jam thing.
Yeah, and then I guess the piggyback is this is a weird. I use the term songwriting as in a song structure concept.
Yeah.
Verse, chorus, bridge, lyrics, the whole 9. Mm-hmm. I don't think jam bands or jamming is songwriting.
Right.
I don't think that's songwriting.
Yeah, it's jamming. Everybody knows that.
Like, I don't think a jam band is a songwriter, so to speak. I guess is kind of what I'm saying.
I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion.
Maybe it's not.
I think
It's
most
just-
fans
yeah.
of jam bands would agree with you. However, I think
Man, my own pop opinion so.
No, it's okay.
Should have gone with my first one.
Billy usually just says facts that he doesn't
Yeah.
agree with.
Yeah.
So those,
Yeah.
So at least you have opinions on
I just
it.
like I don't know. Yeah, I just
I'm trying harder this season.
Yeah, I like it.
yeah.
Thank you.
So here's what I'll say. I agree with you. I'm actually not a big jam band guy, even though
Yeah.
I kind of operate in that world.
Yeah.
However, I think that there are some jam bands that do well with the songwriting. Like Humphreys to me, like crushes that shit.
Yeah.
Like
don't care for them.
you're not a big Humphreys guy. So I like Humphreys a
It's
lot.
weird. I'm an outlier. I feel like in a lot of time, especially in the music community in Jacksonville, like that are like the people that I kind of rub elbows with a little bit. Like that's their stuff.
That's my shit.
Yeah,
all day, every
yeah.
day.
No, but
It's not my vibe. I don't know.
I dig it though because
Yeah.
I don't come from that world either. I got introduced to the jam stuff way later on, and I kind of fell in love with it through the Allman Brothers.
Yeah.
And then I got introduced to, like all these other bands, and like when I discovered Humphreys, I was like, oh my god, these guys are amazing. They're not even really a jam band, but they kind of are, but they're actually not. And and like I don't know, but yeah, I agree with you. There's I'm a fan of songs. Right.
Yeah.
And like the jam bands don't always do that, but the
Write it
Dead
down.
is
He's a
like-
big songs guy.
Big song guy.
This
Big
guy.
song energy.
He's a big songs guy.
Big song energy.
PSD.
BS.
Oh, BSD. Sorry, not
BSD.
BSD. Sorry,
BSD.
using a lot of Photoshop lately. My
Yeah.
bad. Anyways.
Yeah.
Don't get that
I don't. Yeah.
reference.
That's. I don't
The
know.
Allman Brothers. You don't like the Allman Brothers?
Yeah, man. I just don't. It doesn't
All
do it
right.
for me. Like
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. I really don't like. Well, this is a real strange.
Tuesday's
one.
Gone is so good though. Like start to finish.
That's Billy. That's Billy's.
Oh, that's Leonard Skinner.
Yeah.
No, here's
Damn it.
Billy does that at
I
all
look
of our
so
fucking.
stupid.
Yeah.
We do that.
I like that.
All of our
Yeah.
shows. Whenever somebody
Yeah.
requests a Skinner tune, it's always like, I'm not really a big Allman Brothers guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people get so
I
fucking
like that
wild.
energy because people. Yeah, especially down here, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can't begin to tell you how many people come into the shop that are like, I knew Leonard Skinner, blah 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 blah.
Oh,
blah.
I could. You know what?
So many. I played Alan Collins' guitar one time. The dude brought it in, like his guitar that he played on the Old Gray Whistle Test show. I think that's the show. I played that guitar.
Oh, yeah?
The dude brought it in. He snapped the headstock off of it. It's a Firebird. And then Ronnie Griff is the dude that worked on their guitars back in the day. Rebuilt the headstock.
You sound like every guy at my gig.
Yeah, no, seriously, I know. But yeah, dude brought it in the shop, and I was like, yeah,
I
that's
used to party with Leonard Skinner.
Yeah.
My Hatchet Theory
yeah,
special
blah, blah,
all
blah,
night.
blah. Yeah.
That's the one thing. Here's where I kind of like meet you in the middle on this is that like although the Allman Brothers kind of got me into the jam stuff, and they forever have a special place in my heart.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
I love the Allman Brothers. At the same time, Jacksonville, love you, Jacksonville, but you've made me hate the Allman Brothers.
Yeah, man, that's kind of
It's-
how I feel. Is that it's that
like
vibe?
down in Miami, it was like there was a niche group of people that like the Allman Brothers. So it was like if you knew that shit and like you were into it, it was like dope. Jam scene, that kind of shit. I came up here and it was like ubiquitous. It was like not only that, but like we're all gonna just play the same Allman Brothers tunes all over
Yeah.
town. It's just like, bro.
I don't really love slide guitar that much either. It's just kind of weird. It's oddly
you-
enough, it's like I play pedal steel, but like slide
to say.
guitar. Yeah, it's weird, but like that slide guitar, like overdriven slide guitar tone, it's just like not my vibe.
So we're not you're not a fan of the Lord and Savior Derek Trucks. That's what I think about that.
No, I mean I think Derek's sick. I mean he's the best at it, but it's just it doesn't like I
Doesn't
don't know
hit you.
why it doesn't get me stoked.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Here's the
I'm
thing, is that-
weird.
but no, not you're not weird. You had access to the music that he's pulling from, right? Like, you know what he's pulling from.
Oh yeah. He
Right.
does it the best. I mean the guy's a monster.
Irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know what he's pulling from.
Yeah.
Right? That's the difference. That when I first heard Derek, I didn't know what Sacred Steel stuff was. I didn't come up with like gospel music or like even like a lot of the blues stuff that he's pulling from.
Yeah.
When I heard slide guitar I knew about, like obviously, like I've heard a lot of that shit, but like you know Elmore James and all that stuff. When I heard Derek do it, I was like, this is like, if there is a God, he is speaking through this man right here, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, and then I heard the other stuff later on. I discovered what he was pulling from.
Yeah.
I can't separate myself from the initial thing that I heard.
Totally.
Right. So he's still to me like one of the greatest. But I get what you're saying. Like he wasn't the first person to bring that to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Derek's Monster. Like, yeah, Tedeschi Trucks. Like, I don't really care for it too much.
I'm a much bigger fan of
Yeah.
Derek Trucks band.
Let's hear it.
No, I was gonna say Derek Trucks band. Is that?
No, even then, man, I don't. I mean, those guys are like great musicians, but it just doesn't like.
Some of them were right because
It's unpopular
Kofi's,
opinion. It's a whole segment.
Yeah.
gone. But
Yeah.
Allman Brothers
Thanks
rules.
for that, Anton.
R.I.P. Kofi.
And what is it? Jan Rico.
Yeah, and Enrico Scott. Yep.
Leave him
Yep.
out.
My bad. Sorry. But yeah, I feel you though. I feel
Yeah.
you on that.
I guess that's more. Yeah, that's my opinion. I
But
guess not
that's-
like a blanketed statement, but
It's
it's unpopular,
as
especially in
fuck,
this
though,
town, man.
Especially in this town. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just start telling people like, "Oh, brothers suck." You know, I'm just, I'm
I
not
fucking
gonna
love
say
it,
that.
bro. Fuck yeah. You own it. I fucking
I'm gonna
love
lose
it,
my
bro.
job. At
Oh, so I thought you lose your job at mock shop. I was like, what?
At Blue Jay. Since I did
Yeah,
a million other things.
Speaking of, Kara, we have
Yeah.
to do fan questions real
Oh
quick.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
We forgot to do fan questions.
There's only one fan question.
Yeah.
Jeez, nobody asked about smoking meats after I posted on my Instagram too.
Okay. Kara wants to know what your middle name is.
Oh jeez. Oh my gosh. This is a running joke I have that everybody's asked my middle name. I don't know why it's become this big thing. She knows it, and she's just wanting me to say.
I know. I could tell by the
Yeah.
tone of the message
Yeah.
you sent me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is it, bro? What?
I don't like my name. I think I'm overplaying it because you guys will be like, it's fine. My middle name is Tanner, and I just don't like that name.
I mean, it's interesting to me that they would name a white guy Tanner.
I think
Right.
Tanner is like a hick name, like Tanner.
No, I know it's
Yeah.
just weird to me because you're not tan.
Oh my gosh.
I knew it.
Chew.
I knew
All right,
it. I knew
guys,
it.
try to make
This is-
fucking jokes
yeah.
here. You know what I mean?
I didn't. Yeah, it didn't really.
Sometimes
hit
you
that.
got.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta swing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. You got to swing for the fences. And
You're trying to get
don't
on
make
base.
it,
and
yeah.
Sometimes you don't land it, but
Yeah.
I'm swinging, guys. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
I just one of them things like my whole life. I never really like talk about middle name. I used to tell people it was Tiberius. I don't know why.
Like
Tiberius.
fucking
Yeah.
That's kind of a
Captain
dope
Kirk.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Captain Kirk. Star
Yeah.
Trek.
I'm not a big Star Wars guy,
Sorry.
but
Captain. That's the T for.
It's a little. That's an inside joke that Kara wanted to have. I
Yeah, I
guess.
know. I could
ruin
tell.
the podcast.
no.
Let's tell an
Clip that,
inside.
boys.
Let's tell an inside joke that nobody's gonna know.
No, bro.
it's gonna be funny.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Sorry, Kara.
Shout out Blue Jay Listening Room. Make sure you check them out. They're a sponsor of the podcast, and Kara's fucking dope.
You should ask him what's his first name.
It's Tony, right?
No,
It's
not.
305.
305, comma Tony.
Okay. So we have a fan question or fan unpopular opinion is okay.
Who's the fan?
We
Say their
got-
first name and last initial.
No, I have their Instagram name, which is Cage, Kaje
At Cage.
at Cage. So, okay, there's a couple of things here, but there's one that I'm gonna go with because this will be a much less involved conversation.
It's cool you guys have fans. That's tight.
We do what we can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Their unpopular opinion is the Grateful Dead are actually not so great.
Oh, yeah, I would agree with that.
I would also agree with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That was one of my first unpopular opinions on the show, actually.
Oh, you mean John Mayer's new cover band?
Calling back to another unpopular opinion, my favorite member of the Grateful Dead, by the way,
Yeah.
because he crushes that better than Jerry did in a lot of ways.
Oh my God, that's such heresy.
That's
Fuck
like
you.
that's like saying that Derek Trucks is better than Dwayne Allman.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah, thanks for
Oh,
the
Chris,
the
thank you.
the cricket
Okay.
noise.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, and then like they're not so great at what?
He also said that. Hold on, no. Here's a better one. Okay, because I already said that.
I
Here's
like Jerry's steel playing. I think he's cool with that.
Jerry was an insanely talented human being. He was also a heroin junkie that
Yeah.
was a hit or a miss.
What's
So,
the one song that there was their hit though? With
The Gray Touch of Gray.
Yeah, Touch of Gray.
It's a great song, actually.
That's
yeah.
I like that song.
I'm a big fan of
But
that
that was
song.
that's not like any
Dude, the
of other
Deadheads
stuff.
hate that.
Yeah, right. Another thing.
Yeah. All right. So here's his other unpopular opinion, and the only person who's kept Scott Stapp's career alive this entire time. Creed is guaranteed to get some people. Oh, sorry, Creed is one of the greatest bands of all time. That's what he said.
Creed.
Yep.
It's one of the greatest bands of all
I
time.
mean, they were.
Or Creed is dope. Sorry, he said Creed is dope.
Creed is dope.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Oh.
were huge. It's crazy
Yeah.
to think about that time and how big they were.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
arms wide open.
another Southern Rock, Florida jam band right there. They're
Here's-
from Tallahassee.
Here's the thing.
Are they from Tallahassee?
Yeah, everybody
Yeah,
always says the same thing. Like they're from
Yeah.
Tallahassee. Yeah, they are.
I met Mark Tremonti recently.
Really?
Yeah, he was at a guitar show in Orlando. I sold a pedal steel to his bass player, and he just thought he was a normal guy, and we were chatting. And then he followed me on Instagram, and I was like, and I was looking at it, it said bassist for Tremonti, and I was like, what the crap? And then he came back to the show the next day, and I was like, why didn't you tell me you played bass for Mark Tremonti? I don't know. Like, I feel like that was just like weird, and not that I like him, but he's like kind of in the guitar like metal community. He's kind of a big deal.
He's
I
got
guess.
his own with
Some
who? Was
signature
it PRS?
Yeah, like that dude has a PRS bass and stuff. Anyways,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Oh yeah, Mark's here," and so then like he just came walking over to the booth right after he bought a Dumble from somebody.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's Mark Tremonti, whatever. It's
Well, that's
really
the
weird.
unpopular opinion. What do you guys think about Creed? I think Creed is just terrible.
I've had this idea for like a year or two now, is to take all those, I don't even know what you call them, those the alternative rock pop bands, and then just do funk songs out of them.
with like
Oh, somebody did that on TikTok recently.
Do it with Lifehouse.
No, they
Shit would be
no,
hilarious.
they did it with the Oasis tune.
Well, I mean, that's
Wonderwall?
kind of.
Not Wonderwall, the other one, Champagne Supernova.
Yeah.
No, maybe it was Wonderwall.
Well, regardless,
One of
like
those.
I think if
It was
they-
actually a dope version.
okay, I will say when I was 10, when 1999's sophomore album Human Clay came out, I did have that CD. I did love Creed a lot.
yeah, it was
I
big.
was 10.
yeah,
And now going back and listening to it, I'm just like,
it still slaps, right?
oh,
still slaps.
no.
Yeah.
They were the Imagine Dragons of the early 2000s.
That's a
for
really
sure.
really good way to
Thank
put
you.
it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Imagine Dragons can suck my balls, I will say. I fucking hate that band.
Yeah.
But also, Cage, thank you for contributing to
Yeah.
the podcast. And
I guess the Creed has got the nostalgia.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know every single word of all
Yeah.
of their songs. I like if you know every word of their song, like how bad are they?
well,
they're pretty
not
bad.
all of their songs.
It
You
must
only
have
know
been
the
a
radio hits.
yeah, they were catchy tunes.
No,
I guess.
Did you have Weathered? I had Weathered CD too. That's the first time.
I don't have any because I never liked them like that. I heard some of their tunes and I was like, I
As
don't
a
like his
kid.
I don't fucking like his voice.
The only reason I was allowed to listen to it is because they were Christian,
Right.
sort of.
I liked his he did this song for the baseball team. He did the Marlins theme song. You never
Oh,
heard
that's
this?
right. Yeah, I don't know. I
Oh,
saw
it's
that.
awesome.
No, they did. Yeah, he sung for
The Marlins?
the
I
Marlins.
thought I would have known
It's-
about that.
It's,
Go
it's
Fish.
Marlins.
Yeah.
It's tight.
I thought I would have known about
Yeah,
that.
well, it's because that was the only team that was there. Well, anyways, the whole point is, yeah, he did do that. You can watch him sing for the Marlins. It's hilarious.
Well, I think that's for sure an unpopular opinion. I think most people. I think that Cage is the only person keeping Scott Stapp's career
play
alive
the
at
Super.
this
They
point.
also played the Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure too.
Yeah, they did. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I
They're
mean,
huge.
would you say that Creed is better than Nickelback?
So
Yes,
that was
100%.
one of
I
my
will say
no.
Creed is
Here's
better than
They're
Nickelback.
making a little bit of a
Here's
comeback
fuck
apparently.
because
Ugh.
it's cool to like bands that were hated on now.
Well, I think
right?
it's a Gen Z thing, bro. Gen Z's super into the '90s, 2000s stuff.
because they're rebelling against millennials. That's the thing. And here because that's what every generation does, right? We rebel against Gen X, and Gen X did the whole thing with Boomers. Here's the thing: is that one of my unpopular opinions a while back was that Nickelback is not as bad as people say they are, because they're not. Like, they wrote like good pop tunes.
yeah,
like,
the Def Leppard song, Photograph.
is that really a Def Leppard song?
No, but there's a Def Leppard song called Photograph.
Oh,
There's the one that's, Look
okay.
at this photograph. I don't know. I was doing a joke like Billy did.
Well, you got to swing sometimes, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes you don't land on
exactly.
bass. But no, here's the thing. I mean, Nickelback's more palatable to me than Creed is.
Nah.
I think
Rockstar, it's a good song.
I think I would listen to Creed over
No,
Nickelback.
it's not, man.
Gun to my head, I'm gonna pick
sales,
Creed.
the sales would differ with you.
I think you could go toe to toe with any of the best Creed songs and the best Nickelback songs, and obviously it would be the worst fucking party ever. But at the same time,
sounds like a good time.
Creed's gonna win every time.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right. Well,
So,
What's the best Nickelback
that being said,
song?
Creed is dope.
Yeah.
So that's a popular opinion now.
you think that it's
I'm
popular
just kidding.
opinion now? The Gen Zers are all about Creed.
I don't know if that's made it yet. Maybe.
It'll get there. It'll get there. I have faith
How
in your
insane would that be? Like you just see kids just
opinion.
bumping.
Wearing Creed shirts and like Scott Stapp,
Oh
just
my
like Jesus
gosh.
on their fucking things.
I don't think Gen Z kids know about Creed yet because as soon as they find out about them, they'll be like, "Oh fuck, Nickelback, Creed's where it's at."
On that note, Cage, you're getting some bottom of the bill merchandise.
gosh.
I gotta take a wicked piss, so let's get the fuck out of here.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. It's been a pleasure. Jack, thank
Yeah,
you for
man.
being with us,
Thanks
bro.
for having me.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's
This
super
is a lot of
enjoyed it.
fun. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next time. Thank you for tuning in.
Adios, muchachos.